minutes ago, it broke my heart because we come here every day. We talk about the game of basketball. We all love the game, but sometimes we don't talk about how thankful we are to have life, and we don't appreciate that aspect. And things like this make you appreciate it. And I just thank God that Bronny's alive. You know what I'm saying? Because it could have went the other way, you guys. And that hurt me this morning to see this news. And I'm forget basketball. I'm hoping he make a full recovery. You know what I'm saying? I'm hoping he make a full recovery and feels the same way he felt before this happened, because we just saw this with the football player in the field, and it could have been either way. And to know that two situations, went like this, and we didn't lose the lives of these people. It's just thanks to God for that, because I mean, it could have went either way. And I'm gonna say this, if we're gonna let y'all have it, I hope they don't release the tape. I know since he was practicing at USC when this happened.
Better not. They better not. They better not.
If anybody released that tape, bro, LeBron needs to prosecute them. Their family needs to find a way to press charges against who. I don't care if it's somebody sold it to TMZ or something, anybody. Nobody needs to release that tape. They should not. That's a young fella right there. Y'all don't do that to him.
I just don't. Definitely prayers up. You got it, Chill.
My cousin Sharif has a heart problem. I don't. When it comes to stuff like this, I don't play around. I do not play around. I don't care if you ever pick up a basketball again. That does not concern me at all. What I care about is your well-being. This kid is 17, 18 years old. He got his whole life ahead of him, right? He got his whole life ahead of him. And this is the good thing is that he's not. The good thing is that he's stable. The good thing is that he's alert. The good thing is that he's still alive. And that's what's important. Whatever is going on with him, let's get to the bottom of it. Let's forget about basketball. Basketball is secondary. I couldn't care less about basketball right now. I couldn't care less.
What happened? Find out
LeBron James, Bronny James passed out in practice this morning.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, he passed out in practice this morning. Took him to the hospital. He had a heart attack, but he's in stable condition. He's still alive. So when they say he's in stable condition, that suggests to me that he's good. That he's okay. So, and this is something that, and I don't know if you guys, I don't know how you guys feel about it. This is something that could cause LeBron James to retire. You know why? Because the most important thing to me is my family and taking care of my family. And if that means that I don't play basketball no more and I take care of my family, I will do that. I will absolutely do that.
God, dang, that's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. Prayers up. And then once again, I want to reiterate, we were talking before the show started up. You know, these basketball workouts are serious. Like you guys see dudes play on the court and they make it look easy. Yo, a D1 workout at USC ain't no joke. They waking up at 6 a.m. and they working out for 2 hours straight, doing some unbelievable workouts that you wouldn't even imagine. So it's a lot of stress and strain on the body to be an athlete, especially of that caliber. So, you know, prayers up. Hopefully he can make a full recovery. And, you know, life is just bigger than hoops. Like, we love to come up here and talk hoops. We love to come up here and debate. But what's more valuable and what's more just bigger than everything is just us all being able to breathe. So, you know, I want to send best of vibes and wishes to everybody in the chat. Happy to have you guys here. I hope everybody's doing good. I hope everybody's family's doing good. And I hope you guys are just all in good spirits. I'm good, Damo, man. Pirate, what's going on with you guys? How you feeling today?
I'm good, man. It's again, you know, prayers for sure. It's a dour note to start the show on. But I am very happy, and you know, it's an honor to be on the stage. I've been watching you guys for a ticket, especially. I would have never found Player's Choice without. I was a Ticket TV fan first, watching, listening to Ticket roast Mr. Mass, and the you know, wild roadhouse that channel is. And then I found this channel through his. He was comparing George Gervin's playoff run to Kevin Durant. I think I'm a huge George Gervin fan, and it's just been a pleasure. You guys have given me a lot of hours of entertainment over the last few months, so it's a real pleasure to be here.
Absolutely, absolutely. And for those of you who don't know Pirate, you might want to go check out an open gym episode a couple episodes ago. I guess him and Lowe got into a back and forth heated debate, and let's just say Lowe left tight. We just gonna leave it at that. Damo, what's going on with you?
Did it not go well for Lowe? Is that what you're trying to say, Ron?
Hey, that's word of the grapevine. I heard it through the grapevine.
Hey, let me ask you this. How y'all think that that the James family should move on with this? Y'all think they should go ahead and just shut him down, or what y'all think?
Basketball is
Ron, I'm
secondary
good,
right now.
Ron.
Ticket.
My morning was good.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I'm with you on that. I'm saying like moving
Good to
forward.
hear you doing well.
I'm saying like I think the media shouldn't be pressuring the kid no more. All of this stuff should be, you know what I'm saying? For me, all of this stuff should be just put to the background now and let him, you know, recover and let him, you know, do whatever he want to do with his life. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes when you're a famous son, the media pressure you into doing things and meeting certain expectations. And we never know how hard Bronny was going in that gym. He could have been going super hard, just trying to live up to the expectations of his father. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you push yourself to these limits. You know, you push yourself to these limits because you want to be great. And this is why we appreciate athletes, but also we have to understand that, you know, our lives is most important too. And like I said, man, I'm just praying for Bronny, man, because, you know, he seemed like an all-around good kid. You know, he loved his father. They got a beautiful family. And you never want to see nothing happen to no kid like that. And I just hope that the media will learn to not put so much pressure on these kids and allow them to just grow and become whatever they're going to become. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think you mean anything ill intent by saying that. I just want to say that I don't want to put that on like pressure. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, so when you ask the question like, what should the family do? That's just it's a hard question to answer, because, you know, like, especially when you have children, you know that, you know, obviously their health and everything is their well-being is most important. But then at the same time, Bronny's he's an adult now. He wants to play basketball. He probably wants to play. So when you put in that situation as a parent, you can't really answer that question. It's like, do I let my son do what he loves? If he's clear, if he's healthy, if they say, oh, what happened, you know, and on top of that, it's unfair to just say, you know, we putting too much pressure on him, because it could just be just a medical thing. It could be a tick he had in his heart his whole life, and it just happened right there. You know what I'm saying? So it's I don't want to say it's the pressure, but when you got kids, you just never know, bro, because it's crazy. Obviously, most people, we love our children, you know. So of course we you know, of course his family wants him to be healthy, but at the same time, you know, when your kids are like, Mom, Dad, I have to play basketball. I'm healthy. The doctor said I'm clear. It was just this, it's that. Like, what can you do? You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm with you. I'm just saying, the only thing I'm saying is that when you look at it, when you for example, we looked at Sharif's situation. Sharif came through, pushed back, wanted to play, and has been fine. You know what I'm saying? In Bronny's situation, we're going to see what happens and how this transpires. I'm just saying that, you know, I don't think that the media or anybody should pressure the James family or Bronny should have any pressure to make any other decision than what he wants to make. And then sometimes I'm just going to tell you something, man. Sometimes as a parent, depending on the different situation, your parent look at you like, Ronnie's what, 19 years old, I think?
18,
19.
His parents, they still look at him like he's a kid. Like, we shutting you down. You know what I'm saying? We shutting you down. Like, we care more about your life. You have everything you need already. We shutting you down. Boom. So that's why I was just asking you guys, how did y'all feel about that aspect of it? Like, you know what I'm saying? Do y'all think that as parents, would you guys shut it down in your eyes if you had a 19-year-old kid, or would you just leave it on your kid to make the decision?
Well, firstly, the first thing I'm going to do is see what is the actual problem. We literally just heard about it. It just happened. Let's actually see what happened, and let's see what can happen. Let's see what the doctors say. Let's see how he feels. You brought up the Hamlins. I want to say DeMar Hamlin from the Bills. At the time, I remember when it happened. Everybody was a Twitter doctor. We all knew, oh yeah, if he does pull out of this, on the other side, they're gonna look pretty. I'm just saying what I remember vividly hearing at my job or on Twitter talking about it. Everybody was like, yeah, he's never playing football again. He's not going to be the same. You don't come back the same from that. Just for him to be partying and fine when he was fine. When he was hell, he wants to play football. He's trying to play football again. Like he's fine now. So let's wait and see what happens. Let's see what caused it, why it happened. Let's see if there's any preventions from it happening, and let's take it a day at a time. Now, when it comes to if he as a parent, if it comes to as a parent, would I let my 19-year-old continue his dream? If that's what he wants to do, and the doctors clear him, and he says that's what he wants, he's an adult now. Whether we feel that they look at him as a child or not, he's an adult now. He's at the age where if he says he wants to do it, damn what LeBron says, damn what Savannah says, damn what Gloria says, he gonna do it. If he wants to play ball, I'm gonna go play ball. So it's up to what Bronny wants to do, and it should be only Bronny's decision. No one should make the decision for him. If he don't want to play, he don't want to play. If he do want to play, he do want to play. But right now, I'm not worried about playing basketball. Let's just make sure you're healthy. Let's just get through. Let's get through day one of this happening before we talk about anything. In my opinion.
Yo, this is.
And by the way, this happened yesterday, guys. So it happened yesterday while practicing. Obviously, he suffered cardiac arrest. Medical staff, they were able to treat Bronny, take him to the hospital. He's now in stable condition and no longer in ICU. His family says that they asked for, well, representative of the family, they're asking for respect and privacy for the James family, and they'll update the media when there's more information to come out. LeBron and Savannah, they wish to publicly send their deepest thanks and appreciation to the USC medical staff and the athletic staff for their incredible work and dedication to the safety of their athletes.
Which is another reason, Ron, why it's important. I'm sorry, Damo. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, because I'm seeing in the chat and our guy in the group chat brought it up too, bro. Look, this is day one of us hearing this, bro. Please don't come on here talking about HG. Hold on. Stop talking about PEDs and HGH and all that extra stuff, bro. It is nasty. We just heard about it, bro. Like, I don't care if you're trying to accuse somebody, not accuse. I don't care what it is. We just heard about it within an hour, bro. And we talking about. Hey man,
hey, Damo, I wasn't.
This, that, and the third. Like, bro, come on, bro. You niggas nasty, bro.
He wasn't talking about you, Ticket.
I wasn't talking about you, Ticket. I wasn't talking about you.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying I wasn't trying to make an aspersion on a quick, he should play or shouldn't play. My bigger point was to this, you guys, and I think this is something that I've always wanted to ask y'all, but I've never asked y'all because it never came to the point where we talked about this. Do you guys think, and we don't know what happened, so I'm not going to say this, but do you guys think that the younger kids are, because when we grew up, it wasn't like the workouts, the weightlifting as early as they doing now, all that stuff wasn't prevalent like that. You just grew into your body, and then when you got older, naturally started doing stuff. Now everything is so advanced where the youth are starting out training early, coming in cut, lean, fit, ready to roll. Do you guys think that the training and stuff like this may be a little bit too hard early on the youth, coming from an AAU ranks, even when they're younger, up until they're older? I just want to know.
I've been in the gym since the 4th grade, but I don't know.
Like, I know what Ticket talking about. Ticket talking about how strenuous it is and how not take playing basketball off the table. He talking about the training aspect of it, lifting weights and dieting and stuff like that. Some of these kids are taking supplements. Some of these kids are taking vitamins and things like that. Some of these kids are doing that because they're trying to advance these kids. And is it too much? Well, at the end of the day, I'm still 16 years old. I'm 15 years old. I'm a kid. And I got to enjoy the game more than it has to just be, I got to get my family out of here. I still got to enjoy the game. And the good thing about James, him coming into it, he didn't have that pressure on him that he had to get his family out and he's got to make sure that this happens. That's where the love of the game came in, because this ain't really something that I have to do. I'm already set up, right? I'm already set up. I come from an affluent background.
Like, he don't have to, but he love it though. Like,
that's what I'm talking about. That's what I mean, Big Ox. That's exactly what I mean, Big Ox. Because I don't have to do it. You see how hard he plays. You see how hard he goes. That's where the love for the game comes in. It's not just I got to be as good as my father. Because to be quite honest with you, I'm confident he looking at this going, I ain't never gonna be that good. But I'm playing because I love this, and I don't just love it. This is what I do, and this is what I want to do. Now, when you put in kids 16, 17 years old through that kind of work, it could be strenuous on the body when you're talking about training aspect. They train in 8-9 hours a day, and especially in the summertime. Forget playing basketball. They training and they're training like professional athletes. That might be a bit much on a 16-year-old. That's not something that a 16-year-old does on the regular. That's why you see these gymnasts. That's why you see these Olympic athletes when they 20 years old, they losing their mind. So it might be a bit much sometimes.
Have we talked about how fucked up this is?
Oh, it's terrible.
This is crazy. Like, not even from a health aspect. Like, imagine being like him and knowing, like, okay, now I'm about to go to USC, and then if, like, I hope he, obviously pray he comes back, but like, and now you're thinking I might never be able to play again, stuff like that. Just with anything, health problems, injuries, and it happens to a lot of people more than we talk about, because everybody's not as, you know, famous as him. But this is crazy. This is sad.
The good thing, though,
I feel bad for the kid. This is crazy.
But the good thing, though, Ox, is he ain't dead. He's alive.
I mean, yeah, that's the beautiful thing.
So this ain't catastrophic, and life is over. Like, hold on, my man's still here.
But chill, he's 18 years old. He's 18 years old. Now, I understand that. I'm just thinking about from him right now. I'm trying to put myself in little man's shoes. Like,
right.
If I was 18 and then I wake up one day and something bad happens and they're like, oh, you can't play ball no more. Do you want to be here? At that point in my life, I'll be like, man, it ain't even worth it.
At 18, because what else do you know at that point?
Basketball is everything. So it's like, man, everything to me. I woke up, I ate, slept, drank. Everything was basketball to me.
All of that. It's probably with him, it's the same thing. With him, it's the same thing. But
the cool thing about his situation is, like, obviously his dad's Bron. His dad plays for the Lakers. He goes to USC, so he's going to get the top care possible. They're the top treatment possible. They're going to be able to get down to the bottom of everything. So they're going to know whether he's able to continue to go. They're going to know to what extent it is. They're going to know what treatment he needs. All of that good stuff.
Well, you at USC, I'll tell you this, and I hope you're right, but I'll tell you this: USC training staff they suspect anyway. They got sued for millions of dollars by my man Armand Armstead, who is Eric Armstead's big brother from the 49ers. You know what I'm saying? They have some staff.
Are they still there? Is that crew still there? That got sued, or are they on the staff anymore?
I sure hope not, because they did my man bad. And
right,
you know what I'm saying? He got picked by the Patriots. He couldn't even finish his career.
And Ron, just so you know, you brought up USC. It's really important to mention how important it is to be close to family. Can you imagine if this happened if he was at Ohio State? Like, now we got to get on a plane and we got to go all the way to Ohio and we got to completely uproot our lives out there, as opposed to, this happened right here. We're home and we can deal with it right here. I can't put a price. I can't put a price tag on how important it is to have your family close to you. B. One of my biggest regrets is going as far away from home to go to school as I did. If I had a chance to do it all over again, I wouldn't have went that far away from home to go to school.
Yeah, fellas. Well, it's definitely sad news. We'll definitely continue. It's sad news, but it's good news as well. It's positive news on the back end. Just hearing that he's in stable condition. So we'll definitely monitor the situation closely. We'll continue to report and talk about it as we hear, more news and as the situation gets updated. But prayers up to Bronny, and we're gonna continue to move on. It's also something else that has recently happened. Yo, Steve, can you throw that Jaylen Brown graphic on the screen?
I need my money.
I
need my bread.
Celtics Jaylen Brown lands the richest deal in NBA history.
I need my bread, yo.
Super max.
Need my money.
Fellas, how are we feeling about this?
I need my money.
I feel like this story comes around every 7 to 9 years, right? Like Mike Conley, the richest man in NBA history.
That was just crazier kind of than this.
A timing. Yeah, timing of when your contract is up and when the CBA passes and when the salary cap goes up. There's always going to be some guy who kind of jumps the line, right? So. That's
we talking about Jaylen Brown. I don't know if Jaylen Brown and Mike Conley are a similar situation, because Jaylen Brown.
Yeah.
And let's take the money aspect off the table for a second, even though the money is really important. But I mean, Jaylen Brown is an all-star. He's an all-NBA performer. Mike Conley wasn't that.
Yeah.
right? So in terms of him jumping the line, he's a cornerstone of their franchise, even though Mike Conley was. But I think Jaylen Brown is held in a little bit higher of a regard than what Mike Conley was. I can appreciate the example though. I definitely can appreciate the example though.
Yeah, not as egregious, definitely.
Right.
But like highest paid, you would like to think that in a perfect world, highest paid is going to equate to best in the league, but it just doesn't work out that way.
Well, now the bar got raised.
When was that? When was the last time that was the case though in the NBA?
It really, you'd have to go back a little bit. Yeah. Well, I mean, Steph was the highest paid for a little while there. You could make an argument, maybe, if you thought,
Was James ever the highest paid player in the game? I don't think so.
I don't know about totality. Maybe for a year by year basis.
He took less to go to Miami. Right?
He took pay cut.
He took less to go to Miami. He took less to come back to Cleveland.
Yeah.
And
so I don't
think.
think.
And he took less to play with the Lakers.
Yeah. You good? Hold up just a second. They getting your camera together. But go ahead, chill.
Like I was saying, there's a reason why we have bird rights. And the Celtics are the ones who originated, who invented this. This is why this is so dope, because you could keep your home. And this is another reason, Ron, why you're about to see teams building their units and these guys staying home for this specific reason right here. So you could keep these guys here, so you could pay them the most. Because these guys, with the way the market is, these guys ain't going to be leaving $50, $60 million on the table no more. I don't see it. I don't.
What's the implications of this, though? Chilltown, what does this mean for the future of the Celtics?
Well, what it means is that we still building it around Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. We still staying together. That's what that means.
I'm happy you got his money, but I thought we was about to go get that, man.
Mm-hmm.
Get paid, Jaylen.
I know it. I know it.
But man, you ain't think he was going to Sacramento?
No, he did. Hey, Chilltown. Or what it means is Chilltown, or it means that they couldn't find a deal to trade Jaylen Brown, so they just said, "Look, we got to give him his money."
Nah, somebody wanted him. Somebody wanted
that's what I'm not going to pay a dude $300 million, the richest contract, because I couldn't find a deal to trade him. I'll take less in order to pay in instead of paying more for a guy. I'm not doing that.
Not the Celtics. The Celtics got to fleece people to trade with them. You ain't been hearing them reports about them going into trade talks with these teams and walking out with the teams feeling like, oh, you just trying to take all my pockets and give me nothing back.
There's a difference. Hold on, no, Damo. There's a difference, though. Who was doing that? That guy's in Utah now. That dude ain't in Boston no more.
Maybe he trained the people under him, though, Chill, or the people that came after him. Maybe they learned from his. Maybe it's just something in the air in Boston. You go out there, you get to breathe, and all of a sudden you just want to fleece somebody. You want to swindle somebody.
He did learn from Red Auerbach, no question about it. That's how he got them 4-1s at a Minnesota for Rudy Gobert. So he did, and I think he got 3 more ones out of Cleveland for Donovan Mitchell. So, I mean, don't get me wrong. That dude was in Boston and he was fleecing people. So, I mean, now I don't have a problem with a dude getting his money. I'm so feeling Jaylen Brown getting paid. I'm loving this.
Which one of those Danny Ainge moves was like his biggest fleece stuff? Was it the Rudy move?
That's
was it
easy.
The move with Brooklyn? Or
nope.
You don't think it was the Brooklyn one?
I think it was either Brooklyn or Markelle Fultz.
Oh, Markelle
Fultz is, and that's an underrated fleece. They don't talk about that. They don't talk about that fleece for real, man.
Listen to me, what I'm telling you, Ron. Markelle Fultz is the #1 pick. This is my guy. I love him. Immediately, everybody in the draft is like, "What's going on?" Even though Jason Tatum is his guy from the door. He does not want anything to do with Markelle Fultz. Jason Tatum is his guy. But he's telling everybody, Markelle Fultz this. And I'll listen to trades. If he's your guy, why are you listening to trades? You know why? Because he ain't your guy. Well, we got a goofy-ass general manager in Philadelphia going, well, wait a minute. How good is this kid? I'll give you my #3 pick for your #1 pick, and I'll give you my one next year. How about you hand over that #1? Are you really willing to do that? You sure? Yeah, I'll do that. Hell yeah. Meanwhile, he's like, come on, hurry up. Give me the paperwork, hurry up. And sure enough, before he even hang the phone up, we got our guy, because Jason Tatum was his guy right from the beginning. Right from the beginning. That
I
was
know Danny
exactly
Ainge got off that phone call, lit his cigar, and did the Denzel.
You know he did.
My
We got our guy.
Shit.
We got our guy.
That's hilarious.
Mhm.
That's hilarious.
But hold on, no. Let's talk
Easy.
about the Boston Celtics Brooklyn Nets trade though. How are we feeling about that one?
That was
Well,
terrible.
wasn't that trade that got him Jason Tatum? That he
All
switched?
of those
wasn't that
dudes.
from Brooklyn?
That got him
That was
Jason
from Brooklyn,
Tatum,
right?
That got him
that
Jaylen
was
Brown. They got him everybody.
So what that basically was they got that, what was his name, the Russian owner who came in and got the Brooklyn Nets, and he just
Pavlov,
wanted to win.
shit like
He
that.
wanted to win right now.
He had
He's like,
no
I'm
idea
going to
about
spend more
basketball.
money than anybody in the league, and I don't know who was advising him. But
He had no idea about
that
basketball,
was
by the way. He had no idea about the business.
one of the worst transactions.
Yes.
One of the worst transactions.
So he was playing the
Absolutely.
GM role at that point, or he just superseded. Was just like,
Nah,
oh yeah, come on.
I thought the GM was the one that made like.
I'm sure he had guys.
It was
Yeah.
not Billy King. It was some brother. I
No,
forgot.
Billy King was gone. He would have never agreed to that. Billy King
It
would
was
have
some
never.
brother that
agreed
was
to
in there though, wasn't it? It was a
I don't
brother that
think it
was
was
in
Billy King.
Oh, I forget who it was, but he pulled the trigger on it. It was crazy.
Well,
And he probably pulled the trigger because of the owner.
But since that pick
it was
came from
the owner,
Brooklyn,
sure.
I gotta say that the Brooklyn Fleece was the biggest one. Since the reason they was even able to pull the other one off was because they got those picks from Brooklyn.
Got 3
that was
ones
crazy.
for a washed up Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, and Jason Terry. Those 3 first-round picks turned to Jason Tatum, Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown. Oh my goodness! And then he turned around.
I mean, I'm trying to think. I can't think of a more one-sided transaction. Like honestly.
Oh, what you call it? That's easy. Cleveland handing over. That's where the if you guys know in the draft, that's why you can't have that's why you can't hand over a bunch of first round picks, because the general manager of the Cleveland Cavaliers was just handing over first round picks. So he hands over in 1979 a first round pick with Magic Johnson. When Magic Johnson ends up getting drafted, he just hands over a first round pick to the Los Angeles Lakers, which in 1982 turns into James Worthy, because the Cleveland Cavaliers are terrible. Because he was just handing over picks, and it was in the NBA. And the NBA was because Cleveland, not just Cleveland, their management was terrible. They had no idea what they were doing. Like we just was talking about with Brooklyn, that's what Cleveland was doing. Their management was terrible. They were just trading guys, not just trading guys, trading picks. And they traded their first round pick it was in 1979. Steve something, I forgot his name, and a future number 1, which in 1982. That number 1 ultimately turned into the number 1 overall pick for the Los Angeles Lakers, who were in the NBA championship won the NBA championship that year, and now they get James Worthy.
But wait. So the 79 pick
was
Cleveland's too. Like
so, imagine so
they got the 82 and the 79 from.
So imagine So imagine Denver. Just won the NBA championship this year, right? And 3 years ago they had a trade where they end up with the first pick in the draft this year, and they end up with Wemby.
But I'm talking about the 79 pick too. So that was LA's, or the LA got that from Cleveland too. LA got LA got that pick from LA got that pick from New Orleans because they traded Gail Goodrich. Yeah, they traded Gail Goodrich, and they traded Gail Goodrich to Utah. It wasn't Utah. I'm sorry. It was New Orleans at the time. They traded Gail Goodrich, and they thought that was going to work out. So they figured, we'll hand over our first round pick to the Lakers, and the Lakers end up with the number 1 overall pick, which ends up being Magic. And then that same year, Cleveland, it was in the draft, and Cleveland ends up making a deal with the Lakers where they trade. I forget the guy, Steve something. They end up trading him. The Lakers trade him to Cleveland for a future number 1. And if you can imagine, like today, Denver's trading, I don't know, Bruce Brown to Brooklyn for a future number 1 in 2026 or 2025. And then in 2025, they end up with the number 1 overall pick after winning the NBA championship. That's what ended up happening. That's worth.
Oh, by the way, it was Billy King for the Nets too. I just looked it up. Billy King was the he was the what you call it? I'm not saying I could have swore it was. He was, and I want to get the title very correct. He was the president of basketball operations from 2010, 2011 to 2015, 2016. Sean Marks came in 15, 16, and he's there now to this day.
Sean Marks is
Billy
still
King
today.
Yeah, Billy King is the one who made the terrible decision to do them trades. I thought so.
I don't think he made that decision. I think that was over his head.
It might have been then. Then it could have been him just following orders, but he was.
That's what I think.
He was the face of it. That's what people were complaining about. Instead, pulled the trigger. But it could have easily been, hey, it's above me. I'm just doing it because they told me to. It could be that.
I think that's what it was.
That's what got him fired, Damo.
Hey, they had him do a terrible trade, then fired him. You know how they do us, man. You know how they do us when they put us in office, man.
Think about this for a second, Big Ox. I'm getting, and I know how you feel about Kevin Garnett because I did Kevin Garnett too. But in 2013, after the 2013 season, KG was washed, yo. KG was not who he used to be. He was not. Paul Pierce was another one. He was in year 15, and Jason Terry for a couple of first-round picks. Of course, Danny Ainge's doing that because he's looking at the future. Yo, these dudes gonna be garbage. They might be good 1 year, but after that, they're gonna be trash. And those number one picks, we're building off that. And those number one picks turned into Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. Unbelievable.
Yeah,
the jackpot.
Yes, he did, Ticket. Yes, he did.
I still think it's crazy. You got Ben Simmons. You draft Ben Simmons. He doesn't play his rookie year, but he is working out with the team. He's training, and you see behind the scenes, yeah, this kid's he's a big playmaker. Going into the draft, you still say, you know what? Boston wants that point guard. We need a point guard. Idiots, man. Ruined the process. You knew what Ben Simmons was, man. That's why I say the process was ruined when they didn't take Tatum because you seen that kid for a whole year not shoot a three. You see from the three ball and just passing. You seen it for a whole year. You get to the draft, and instead of taking Jason Tatum to be the guy to score at that time, you say,
nah, but we got to see that jump shot.
That jump shot goofy as hell.
Hit him with the Lonzo ball.
Ticket, that's the Lonzo Russell.
That was Alonzo. Yeah, that was Alonzo Russell when he came in the league.
We can't pretend like a lot of kids weren't saying Ben Simmons was better than Magic Johnson just a couple years ago, though.
People who don't know basketball said that one.
I heard a lot of people saying that. Yeah, I mean, not informed people, but a lot of people.
People on TikTok.
Fellas, we got to bring it back because I still want to talk about Jaylen Brown. But before we do so, yo, chat. We're working on something right now for PC Weekend, and we need you guys' help desperately. We desperately need you guys' help. What I need you guys to do is, in the chat, I need you guys to drop the hottest takes of the year so far. And by hottest, I mean like dumbest. Like drop the most bizarre takes that anybody's made this year. I don't want to put anybody up here on blast or anything like that, so I'll use myself as an example. It was around this time last year where, I had a long night the night before, tequila, whiskey, champagne, I was doing some things I probably shouldn't have been doing. And I woke up and I got on the panel the next day and something came over me and I said, Trey's better than Luka. Something like that, something like that. So
I tried to get him back in, Big Ox. You remember Big Ox? I threw the fish line out and I was trying to reel him back in. He just wouldn't come back in. I was trying. I was trying, Big Ox.
Yeah, man.
I guess I could use my good friend Mars because he's not up here right now. Something like him, even though he's trolling when he says it, but something like him saying like Amin Thompson's the next Magic Johnson.
What about Amir? What about that one?
Either or, but chat. I need you guys to drop all of those in the chat right now, and then put the person's name behind it as well.
I mean, we all have stuff that we all have stuff that we want to walk back, like looking back on it. You see,
Mars don't want to walk that back. Mars do not want to walk that back. He wants to stand on, and ain't nobody's going to call him out for that. Nobody's going to call him out for saying that Amin Thomas is going to be the next Magic Johnson, even though that boy ain't going to play 20 minutes a game his rookie year.
Don't nobody got to call. You don't got to call him out on that. He's just trolling. That's an obvious troll. We don't got to call him out on that.
Yeah, I
I mean,
think
the one that I'm
He
walking
don't-
back.
like, we
I'm
know
already
he
on-
don't.
I'm
We
on
know he
record.
don't believe that. So like, come on.
I
mean,
said Giannis a
I
better
at least
offensive
I
player
don't.
than
So I'll speak for myself. I'm not gonna say nothing.
No,
about
no,
it
he
because
does. No, he does believe that. No, he does believe that. That's the problem. Mars truly believes that.
Oh, so he's not
I
trolling
don't think
ticket?
he's trolling when he says it.
That's 100%.
No, he wasn't trolling.
I got too
He
much
truly
respect for
believes that.
Mars. I got too much respect for Mars to believe that he's not trolling when he says that.
And then ticket, he tries to pass
I
it
don't
off as a
think-
troll.
You think he's trolling?
We got him.
it's a win-win, Ron.
Lonnie
It's
Williams,
a
we
win-win
got him.
situation.
Think Bill Russell's the GOAT?
No, he's serious about that. He is. He ain't trolling. He's serious about that.
No. He's not serious about that.
No,
Why
he
wouldn't
is
he be
because
serious
I've
about that?
He uses
actually
that
heard his
as
logic. Yeah, I've heard his
I
logic.
believe. I'm not entirely sure. I believe he uses that as a counter to other people's arguments when they equate winning to evaluation of play. I'm pretty sure LeBron is his GOAT. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
It's hard to tell. He's got a good
double
straight
lick,
face,
man.
so you know. But
He's
I'm
gonna be
pretty
nasty
sure.
at poker. I ain't gonna lie. He's gonna be a nasty poker player one
Yeah,
day.
he is. Yes, he is.
Hey, you cannot tell when he bluffing.
Damo, you play poker?
Absolutely not. I suck at all card games. Unless it's blackjack, I suck at everything. Literally. I can only count.
Okay, well, PC poker coming soon. Just wanted to announce that everybody up here is invited. But back to Jaylen Brown, though. How do we feel about Jaylen Brown and the Celtics moving forward with these two max contracts? Obviously, the moves that they've made. They have these two locked under contract for Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown locked under contract for an extended period of time. What do they do over these next few years? 4 to 5 years.
Well, actually, they don't have Jason Tatum for an extended period of time. His track up after next season, so he come off the books after next year, so he's up. So with that being said, they got another decision to make. But this is why the bird rights are important, because we could go over the salary cap to pay our guys. Now, with that being said, they got Robert Williams on the cheap. They just extended KP. I still think that they need to upgrade at the point guard spot. I think that they need a vet. That part is, I don't think that part is an issue. I think that part is an issue. Other than that, if you locking in your guys, the Celtics have made it clear that, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are our guys. And after this season, I think this season coming up, I think this is a big deal for this team to see how far that they can actually go. If they win it, I think that would compound giving Jason Tatum an extension in his contract, especially considering you already extended KP.
Pirate, Damo, Bob.
Oh, you.
Yeah,
hey, man,
I think it's definitely. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, man, everybody know how I feel about that terrific tandem of number twos over there. I think they did a great job, and they added a number 3. You got 2 2s and a 3. It's a great move to stay in the playoffs and stay relevant. You don't want to tank. That's obvious. Don't want to let go of your guys because you fleeced them from the Nets. That's fine. I don't think this is definitely going to be something that we look back at and be like, is he worth this money if that left hand don't develop? He go back into the playoffs dribbling into the crowd with that left hand. That $300 is going to be that $300 million going to be nothing to nobody for real. We're going to be looking at we going to have the same conversation we had this past playoffs. Who do you trade first? That's all we're going to be saying. That's going to be the headline. Who gets traded first? So, I mean, it was great. I'm glad he got his money. I'll never be mad at a player and their agent for robbing the league of these big contracts. But nah, I don't think that's a move for them to win a championship.
Damo,
So,
what is this number 2 logic? Because when I think about a number 2, I think about a guy like less than. Like if you got a guy that could get you to the NBA championship, is he a number 1 on he's a number 1 on the championship contender?
No. So this is how I look at it. You got guys who are because it's very few true number 1s in the NBA, in my opinion. Number 1 is a guy that is the best player on a team that's going to win a championship. Right. So to be very strict, Joel Embiid is not a number 1. He's a number 2. Joel Embiid is the second best guy on the team that's going to win a championship. Joel Embiid cannot be the best player on a championship on the team. And back MVP, that's fine. There's MVPs.
I don't know.
There's MVP. You can be a great player. Again, if I say
he's the MVP,
okay, everyone wants to talk, no one wants to listen. You can't understand.
I'm listening, Damo.
that Mookie, please don't say stupid in the same sentence when we
That's
talk about me.
stupid,
Please.
bro. Because
Look,
you can't sit
look,
there and say
again,
that
Mookie, you're not listening. You're talking. That's
and
stupid.
we didn't know that.
You're listening. You're not listening. You're talking.
Look,
That's stupid.
Mookie, let him finish it, and we're coming right to you after this.
Finish is dumb.
I'm gonna let you rebuttal.
Go ahead,
Go ahead, Damo.
When the 76ers had their best chance to win a championship, Joel Embiid was the number 2. Jimmy Butler was the best player on that team, and they possibly could have won that year. Okay, Jimmy Butler was the best player on that team, and that was their best chance of winning. Okay, Mookie, cool. Anyway, like I was saying, there are very few true number 1s in the league, in my opinion. That's when I say, if I say a guy's number 2, that's just a number 2 on the team winning a championship, not getting there. Jimmy Butler just got to the finals. I don't think he's a number 1 anymore. I think he's a number 2 now. If you want to win a championship with Jimmy Butler, you're going to need a player better than Jimmy Butler, 1A, 1B at the very least. I don't think he's going to be the best player on the team that's going to win. There are plenty of number 2s that can get you to a finals because there's a lot of good number 2s in the league. That's why so few number actual 1s. You can get to the finals with 2 number 2s. The Celtics have done it. We've seen plenty of players get to the finals. But to win it, to actually win, you got to be a number 1. Or you got to have a number 1. That's just
Can
how
you give me an example, Damo? Can you give me an example
of a true number 1?
Hold up right quick, Mookie. I'm good. You got it right after this.
Steph, Bron, Giannis, Jokic. Those are the only 4 true number 1s right now.
How about Leonard?
I don't think he's that number no more. Are we talking about right now or just in general?
Just today. Just today.
Oh
just today? No, he's not anymore. He doesn't play enough. He doesn't play enough. He's not healthy enough to be a number 1.
This is so stupid. First of all, your logic is number 1 inconsistent. I don't know what you sit there and name those guys as number 1s, but you forgot Kawhi Leonard, who actually was the best player
right now. I said right now. What championship did he win in the last 3 years? Last 4 years? What championship did he win?
This is why it's stupid logic, because at the end of the day, that's like sitting there saying that Michael Jordan was in a number 1 for the last 3 or 4 or 5 years he's been in the NBA until 91 when he won the championship. We all know when you watch Michael Jordan play, he was a guy that you know that he can't be a best player on the championship team. That's like sitting there saying Luka Doncic. We know that Luka Doncic, if you put a right support cast, he can make a deep postseason run to the goddamn finals and the championship, ladies and gentlemen, right? If you put the right support cast on it, that's like sitting there saying he's not good enough to be a number 1 on the championship team.
What's the right supporting cast?
Putting up comparable role players around them to actually
like who? Give me the team.
Got me a postseason.
Give me the team, Mookie. Because he had the best offense. He had the best offense we've ever. He had one of the best offenses in history, and he still didn't make it to the finals. So, what is the comparable team around?
Hold on. But you got to understand that his number 2 in KP wasn't showing up in the goddamn postseason as well. You got to understand that the Dallas Mavericks that year in 2021 had a bottom. They was a middle in the pack defense. It was a top 20 defense in the goddamn NBA. So it wasn't no good defensive unit as well, right? So we not talking about that. And when we talk about Joel Embiid's situation, right? I won't sit there and say a guy that's putting up a historical MVP season in the regular season, right? And we know that in the postseason, we know that this number 2s has been incomparable. To sit there and say Joel Embiid is not good enough to be a number 1, it's just crazy, bro. It's just crazy. So what is he showing you to show that he can be a number 1 on the finals on a finals winning team? He's been underperforming in every playoff for the past 3-4 postseasons. No, you were talking while I was talking, so I'm doing the same thing to you. But go ahead. I let you talk, bro. I let you talk. I let you
falls off in the regular season to the postseason last 3 years.
Get off that bullshit that you was spewing, bro. Number 1, your logic is inconsistent.
You just want to argue Kawhi. If I said Kawhi, you would have been loving it. I just didn't say Kawhi.
Hold on. He proven to win a championship as the number 1 guy, right? That's true. That's facts, right? So,
how many players are hurt on the other team? You mean that asterisk ring, right? The ring with the big asterisk on it. The ring that says Kevin Durant and Clay wasn't here, and you won.
Hold on. So if we want to do that, we could discredit how Giannis got a hospital ring and actually he faced injured teams leading up to the NBA Finals as well. We could do that when LeBron James
leading up or in the finals. Who was injured in the finals? Who was injured in the finals?
We could do that. Hold on.
Who was injured in the finals? Mookie,
we could do that.
Answer the question.
Hold on. You got LeBron James on your list, right? Did he face the injured Miami Heat team when Bam Adebayo was hurt and Joe Exotic was hurt as well? Huh? Okay, so you cooked saying. So if you want to
So Goran Dragic, wait, Goran Dragic. No. Chill. Let me answer.
We can talk about how you guys.
Let me answer.
We can talk about how you got Steph Curry on that list. He faced the Inter Grizzlies team. He faced the Nikola Jokic team.
Who did he face in the finals? Who was injured in the finals? Who was injured in the finals? Mookie, no. This is the problem. Mookie, hold on. Mookie, this is the problem. Mookie, this is the problem. You hear me say something, and then you just say dumb shit to replace what I said to sound right. No, Mookie. Okay, I'm gonna let you talk so I can talk. Go ahead.
When I exposed your logic, when you sat there and said you have to be the best player on the team winning a championship, and you left off Kawhi Leonard, right? And then when I sat there and said that you left off Kawhi Leonard, you want to sit there and say, he faced injured teams in the finals. Nigga, you got LeBron James in there, and he faced the injured Miami Heat team in the goddamn finals as well, bro. And matter of fact, you should have put Anthony Davis on there because LeBron James wasn't even the best player when they won a championship in the goddamn bubble. So you're wrong right there, right? Then you're missing off KD. A lot of these people sat there and said that KD was the best player on the Golden State Warriors because he won a Finals MVP. You left off him. So what I'm saying is that when I exposed your logic, when I exposed this stupid ass criteria, it looks stupid, bro. It's stupid. Put that shit in the.
Can I go, Mookie? Can I finally go, Mookie? Can I go? Can I go, Mookie? Mookie, can I go? Can I go, Mookie? Can I please go? Thank you. Okay, one, I said Kawhi isn't that anymore because the last 3 to 4 years he has been inconsistent and he's been hurt. He hasn't been playing. Now listen, hold on. When I said, man, the last ring he got in 2019 is hard to say that because in the finals he played a team that was obviously better. Okay, Mookie, I shut it the hell up so you can talk. So please at least do me that favor, shut the hell up so I can talk. Thank you. Anyway, cool. Kawhi Leonard faced a team where Kevin Durant and Klay Thompson were not there in the finals. If you're going to combat that by saying, all the other guys you named in the first and second round faced injured teams, I said in the finals, Mookie, which guy did I name? Wait, and before you think the answer, because I said your name, shut up. Which guy did I name that faced a injured finals team where the best player, second best player, third best player wasn't there? You brought Mookie again. Hold up. Shut up. You brought up LeBron James. Mookie, shut up. It's rhetorical. What is a rhetorical question? It means a question you shut up for.
Point, bro,
anyway, okay, cool. You rambled and I sat there with a smile. Shut up.
No,
anyway, Mookie. Thank you. Shut up. Shutting up is not talking. Anyway, LeBron James, you said Bam was hurt. Bam still played. Was Bam not there? Was Bam not there?
Did Klay Thompson play?
You named the guy that
did Klay Thompson play?
Did Bam finish the series?
Did Klay Thompson play?
Did Bam finish the series?
Did Klay Thompson play?
Okay, so we're not answering questions. We're going to keep answering questions.
Did Klay Thompson play 3 games in 3 quarters?
Mookie.
Yes or no?
Mookie.
Okay,
matter of fact, Mookie, this is what I'm going to do for you. Because I see we're not going nowhere. Mookie, hold on. No, Mookie, you don't talk about
Ice both of them right quick. Ice them both. Hold on, just relax, Damo. Relax. Unice Damo, he gets 30 seconds. Ice Damo, then unice Mookie, he gets 30 seconds. We're going to do that twice. I'm going to let you guys fully get your points off, and then we'll come back to the big screen and everybody a dialogue. Go ahead, Damo.
Go ahead, Damo. What you got, brother?
Mookie, you not changing my damn opinion because I don't want weak knee-ass Kawhi Leonard on my list. At the end of the day, it's my goddamn opinion. If I don't feel like Joel Embiid is a goddamn number one on a championship-winning team, guess what? Tell them to prove me wrong. If Tika want to sit up here and say we not going to glorify Jokic or give Jokic all his just dues until he gets the job done, everybody sit there and say that's a real hooper mentality. So tell Joel Embiid, stop underperforming in postseasons, stop going from regular season MVP to postseason duds, and then we can have this conversation about Joel Embiid. But until he proves me wrong, Mookie, I'm not saying nothing that's cap. The guy comes into every postseason and does worse than what he does in the regular season. He has to look to get carried by niggas like Tyrese Maxey and James Harden to even be competitive in the playoffs. So stop talking to me about that. You're mad at me because I don't want to glurp Kawhi. I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry. Tell him to get on the goddamn court then. Tell him to play.
All right.
That was work, Damo. Mookie, you better come with something, brother.
This is why he's so stupid, right? Nobody will sit there and say that these guys are not number one. See, when you sit there and get on other people for sitting there not praising or doing the winning bias and stuff like that, but when you're doing that to judge a number one, that's why that shows that that's inconsistencies in your goddamn stupid ass argument. Nobody was sitting there and said when MJ was winning MVP, DPOY scoring titles that he can't be a number one on a championship team because he was going against inferior support cast, nigga. Nobody was sitting there and say Kawhi Leonard's not a number one on a championship team. He made a deep postseason one, had a historical postseason performance as well, and he did that in a dominating fashion, right? When you sit there and list your list off of players that's number one on a championship team, and when you sit there and say LeBron and Steph Curry, them guys face injured teams in the finals as well. LeBron James faced the injured Miami Heat team in the goddamn finals when their best player in the postseason, and Jordan Dragic, was injured, couldn't barely play, couldn't barely move as well. Then you got Bam Adebayo, who was dealing with a goddamn back injury. Then Steph Curry in the 2015 finals faced a team, Cavaliers team, without Kyrie Irving, without Kevin Love as well, and he still won a championship. But they're still in your list. Don't make sense. Your logic is inconsistent. When we talk about guys like Luka Doncic, we talk about guys like Joel Embiid. They can make deep postseason run, but you know why? The support cast around them can't do that. And then we talk about Joel Embiid and how the freak that when we go on this goddamn postseason, the roster's inadequate second option, poor spacing, facing against historical great defensive units, bro. You don't put that into context, bro. You just judge it by winners and losses, bro. Something that you argue against. So your logic is stupid, it's inconsistent. You need to piss on it, shit on it, take it in the goddamn trash, bro, and get it away because it's stupid. It's stupid. Nobody was.
I just wanted to say, when I said Kawhi Leonard, I said not anymore. I didn't go back and say, oh yeah, in 2001 the only number ones were Shaq, Tim Duncan. Do that. I didn't do that. I didn't go back and talk about the 90s with Michael Jordan. I didn't do that. That wasn't part of the conversation. I just said right now in today's NBA, which is the 2020s, in that era of basketball, these are the number ones in the NBA in terms of winning, number ones that can win, be the best player on the championship winning team. That's it. I didn't say Kawhi Leonard was never that. I just said he's not that anymore because of his health, which I felt was pretty goddamn obvious based off the fact that he plays like 50 games a season, which I didn't think was crazy to say. Just he has not consistently played enough to be in that category anymore. But because I'm talking to a Clipper fan, it just got so disrespectful that I said that. Like, oh my God, you're going to disrespect Kawhi by not saying Kawhi, even though we was just on this same panel a month ago talking about, man, does Kawhi really got that dog in him because he just wants to rest because his knee hurt after game 2 and his team needs him? And you was up here in your camera, no, man, no, because when we need him most, Kawhi gonna show up. And he was nothing but Aang, nigga, the Avatar, because when you need him the most, he told Westbrook to go play. That's what he did. He sent Westbrook out there to fight against the Suns, and you was up here crying. Oh, I mean, it is Kawhi. I was defending Kawhi. Chill.
I don't know what the hell this nigga talking about. First of all, when we look at you first of all, let's stop, yo. Hold on. First of all, hold on. See, this how when you know your logic got exposed, you want to dip into some more shit, bro. First of all, when you sit there and say what is the number one and what is the number two on the championship team, you sit there and describe a number one as a guy that can lead a team to a championship, being the best player on the goddamn team. That's what you sat there and said, bro. Nobody will sit there and say, so if you want to sit there and just nitpick and talk about for over the last 2 years, then I can do it for the last 2 years. If we do it for the last 2 years, the only number ones in the NBA is goddamn Jokic and goddamn Steph Curry, bro. And we go about that stupid ass goddamn logic, bro. So if you want to nitpick a certain type of time of the last 3 years, the last 4 years, then other people can nitpick as well, bro. And we can sit there and nitpick for over the last 2 years who's been the number one in the NBA. I don't describe number ones like that. I describe number ones that if you look at your impact, you know that these guys are so great enough in the postseason where they can carry their team to deep postseason runs and make it to the NBA championship, and also produce and carry their teams on a night-to-night basis in the regular season and produce it into the goddamn postseason as well, bro. Nobody will sit there and say, people will sit there and say Luka can be great on a championship team. People can sit there and say Kawhi. People can sit there and say Jokic, Giannis, Jimmy Butler. Those guys are number one because we have seen on a night-to-night basis they can lead their team to a deep postseason run into a goddamn finals. But they haven't got it done. But I won't sit there and say they're number twos. That is stupid fucking logic, bro. So at the end of the day, bro, listen, your logic is inconsistent. I already exposed that. And at the end of the day, bro, when nobody will sit there and say, "Oh, this guy was the number one," because these guys are great enough to be number ones and to win a championship, bro. I'm done with this shit, bro.
Y'all knock each other out. Yo,
They
Pirate.
both got knocked out.
I guess so. I'll put a poll up. I'm asking you guys who won that debate, Damo or Mookie. That was classic right there. But Pirate, I would like for you to expand on how you feel about what they were just talking about and how you feel about the number one logic. I guess based around the Celtics and just the NBA in general.
Yeah, no, I would love to. And first off, I would not have bet money that in the first fireworks show I would be siding with Mookie, but I am, and that's I guess I have two general points for Damo. I guess 1 point and then one question. The first point would be that a lot of guys have not, under that logic. You're not a number one until you're a number one. Like Rick Barry was not a number one until he wins. Akeem was not a number one until he wins, and then you win. Dirk is not, and then he is. Like, if we're just going to say the only number ones are people who've already won, we'd still be handing out trophies to George Mikan, like year after year. Like, time advances and new teams are developed and new players win championships. So, I mean,
Listen,
it seems really.
I understand what Damo. I understand the point that Damo and Mookie both got, but Damo, to me,
it seems really restrictive just to say that you have to have won to win.
Hold up right quick, Ticket. You cutting in and out, Ticket. Hold up right quick.
No, that's because I accidentally hit mute. That's because I accidentally hit mute, but it came on and off mute. But
last thing we heard,
I'm leaning more towards Damo argument, even though Mook, my boy, and I understand what Mook's saying to an extent. Man, that nigga Kawhi, bro, he be hurt too much, man, to call this dude a real, like, let's be honest, bro. How many teams did he really lead to win a championship as a number one guy? Like, really lead? Like to me, if he would have did it the first year that year he lost with the Clippers and got walked down, that would have been the first year I seen him really do it, in my opinion. Other teams, to me, he stepped up in big times, like especially in Toronto. They just needed that guy to get him over the hump. You know what I'm saying? But it's different when you are that guy from the beginning to the end. So that's just a difference. I think it is to it. And like I said, you can use injury excuses in every playoffs, because every playoffs is an injury excuse as far as who not playing against somebody who is playing. But the problem is with Kawhi, he always hurt. So how can we put him in any of these categories when he always hurt? Like, that's the problem I got.
Pirate, you wanna finish, or do you have a rebuttal to that?
Yeah, I mean, I could touch on that, but I did have one second part to my first point. I just had a question for Damo. He said under his metric that right now there are only 4 number ones in the league, and I forget. I think he said Steph, Giannis, Jokic, Joker. And who was the fourth?
Steph, Giannis, Joker, and who was the other?
Oh, it was LeBron.
Who was
and James.
LeBron. He said LeBron. Okay, so then what you're saying is that you believe that next year the champion is going to have to be either the Warriors, the Lakers, the Bucks, or the Nuggets. Because those are the only teams that have a number one. So you're saying right now that you're eliminating all. You don't think 100%. Any other team can win
because those other teams don't have a number one.
Going in prior to having this conversation, if we went into next season, one of the 4 teams I would have picked. There you go. Lakers, Nuggets,
because those other
Bucks,
teams don't have a number
Warriors. One. That would have been one of the teams I would have picked to win the championship. Next year. Now I'm not saying. Listen, my word ain't law. It's my opinion. Yeah, going into this next season.
Let me respond to Ticket. You keep on saying that what team Kawhi has led. Do you understand that Kawhi, nigga, has led his own teams? I'm talking about terms of the San Antonio Spurs 2016, 2017.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't, Mookie.
I said
shit, Mookie.
Chill. What are you talking about?
Cut the shit, Mookie. Okay.
Kawhi, chill. So who led the 2016-2017 Spurs?
Keep going, but keep going like you.
No. You
were about to say. You were about to say he
disagree.
was the best player on that team. Keep going.
Okay, then. So
keep going.
what are we talking about?
Keep going.
All right, then.
He was the best player on that team.
Kawhi Leonard in 2016-2017 led the San Antonio Spurs to a deep postseason run, and that same year he had the best two-way season that he ever had in his whole career as well. Finished top 2 in DPOY voting. Finished top 3 in MVP voting, averaged 25 on 50, 40, 80 splits, and then up that to 28 a game in the playoffs to 50, 40.
Almost talking about this year, Mookie. He ain't talking about.
Hold on, Keep going, Mook.
I'm not.
He's mad because
Keep going, Mook.
Hold on, Big Ops.
The last thing I heard from you was DPOY, but keep going, Mook. Keep going.
He sat there and said that Kawhi, what kind of deep postseason runs he had. He had one in 2016-2017. He had one in 18 and 19, bro, and that was a historical playoff run as well. The reason why he hasn't able to make another deep postseason run is because he's riddled by injuries. But nobody will sit there and say this nigga is not great enough to be a number 1 on a championship team, bro. Nobody will sit there and say that, bro.
So what happened in 2017? Why?
And y'all in the chat see me cook Damo and explosives flawed logic, but you know the PC chat hates your boy Mookie Jones, so they're gonna sit there and vote against me. But when you look at it, so
74-26, cry about a loser.
We know that I destroyed this man
so rewind.
On stupid ass logic, bro.
So Mook,
74-26, loser.
So Mook, rewind to Ticket's point, right? He said at the end, him being hurt. What happened in 2017 as deep as they went into the playoffs? Why didn't they go further?
He got hurt.
That's the point, Mook. That's the point right there.
My point.
The fact that he got beat up. And the same thing happened. He was preserved in 19. Just so you know. He was preserved in 19. He only played, I think he played 56 games that year, 55 games that year. And he was hobbled in the playoffs. They preserved him as best as they possibly could. Don't get me and what we're not going to do as good as Kawhi Leonard was in that postseason. Let's not make it sound like he wasn't on a fantastic unit. All they did was replace DeMar DeRozan with him, and they also brought in Green. But other than Valanciunas, I still think they would have won the NBA championship if they had Valanciunas and then they didn't have Mark.
They would not.
I still think they would have won the NBA championship. But that's neither here nor there. We're talking specifically about Kawhi Leonard with that Toronto Raptors unit and how they preserved him, how they did a great job in preserving him. And the theme that Ticket is talking about, which makes a lot of sense. How much more could he have won had he not broken down? That's the problem.
Hold on. Chill. See, this is what I'm not going to do. I'm not going to sit there and judge a player or get on a player for something that they can't control. That's number 1.
Like what?
Number 2,
like what, Mookie?
Injuries. That's like.
Well, Mookie, you do that for
Hold on. Let me debunk some of the nastiest talking points that Chill put. He said that the Toronto unit was good. Tell me what they were in the 76ers series, that Kawhi had to put up a historical run, making NBA history, the most points scored in the playoff series, the most points scored in a playoff run against Philly. That stacked Philly up. Your 76ers team, who had the future MVP, who had a prime peak Ben Simmons as well. They had Jimmy Butler was sitting there and say he's a top 5 player in the goddamn NBA as well. He had an average 30 on 50% shooting, and you had Kyle Lowry, Fred VanVleet, Pascal Siakam, Marc Gasol was inconsistency, no-show offensively as well. Kawhi had to put up a historical run to actually get out the 76ers. Yes, they played great, but Kawhi Leonard was the engine to the needle. Like he was the reason why that was a historical defense. He anchored a historical defense in the postseason, and it carried them niggas to the goddamn finals and the championship by having an all-time great playoff run, bro.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. When you see him healthy, we're seeing that he can able to lead his team deep to the postseason as the number 1 guy.
Right.
Hold on. Mook, I disagree with you on one point. He didn't carry them dudes. I mean, Fred VanVleet was balling. Kyle Lowry was balling.
He was only balling in the conference finals.
Hold on, but Mook, hold on 1 second.
You had some
people. Hold on. You had some people saying that they thought Fred VanVleet should have been Finals MVP because of how well he was balling, especially in that championship. Hold on, especially in the championship round. And you remember when Kawhi Leonard couldn't get buckets, and close out that 4th quarter in the finals. It was Fred VanVleet who closed out that 4th quarter
because of the attention that Kawhi was getting.
Say what?
This Kawhi scoring gravity was the reason why Fred VanVleet can actually have
hold on, Ticket. What we're not going to do is
score.
This is come on, man.
That's the
They
impact that
won
Kawhi
because
Leonard had.
Clay and KD got hurt. I mean,
But
that's
hold on. Let me expose this logic. Even when Klay Thompson played, Kawhi beat the original Warriors, and the original Warriors, ladies and gentlemen, was still down 3-1. Still down 3-1. He played I believe he played like 4 games and 3 quarters that whole entire series. So when you sit there and said, "Oh, Kawhi didn't carry," first of all, he was the anchor on the defensive unit. That means he was the leader. He was the anchor. He was the best defender on that goddamn team as well. He was the best offensive player. He was the most clutch player. He was the most reliable player, right? And
Nobody's
you combine
saying
all of that.
Hold on,
That
that's
did
not true.
produce.
He was not the
That
most
did.
reliable player.
Keep going. I'm sorry.
He was not.
You combine all of
Respectfully, he
that.
was not the most reliable. He was always out of the lineup.
No, he wasn't. He was
Had a
not.
winning record without him.
I'm talking
They had a
about.
winning record without him. That team was like,
hold on, Ticket. I'm talking about strictly in the playoffs when it matters the most. He was the reliable. He was the clutchest player.
That's not true. In the NBA Finals, he couldn't get a bucket. In the NBA Finals, in the NBA Finals, when the nigga could not score, Fred VanVleet put the team on his back and was hitting all those threes. When
Kawhi Leonard, this is the thing. When Kawhi Leonard is not scoring, he's still playing some elite level defense, bro. He's still being a great on-ball point of attack.
But I'm not saying that. I'm saying you said he carried them.
He's still
using. You said he carried them, but really he got carried in that corner.
Hold on. He's still using his scoring gravity to allow Fred VanVleet, to allow Kyle Lowry to get those one-on-one situations because the attention that Kawhi Leonard was getting alone. Do you understand in game 1 to get in the 2019 finals, the Steve Kerr and the Golden State Warriors were literally double teaming, trapping, blitzing Kawhi Leonard on his pick and roll action, but Kawhi on the scoring gravity allowed Pascal Siakam to get those one-on-one situations and to go for 30 as well. They know that he was good enough to playmaker and a passer.
Hold on.
Turn into
hold on, Dom. I got him.
We moving off this quick, Damo.
I got him.
I just wanted to ask you a question, Ron.
I've been quiet this whole time, Ron. I got his ass.
Do your thing, Ticket. Do your thing,
Ron. Hey, Mook.
Yes, sir.
That ain't what you said when LeBron James was getting double teamed and he couldn't score. You wasn't saying that he was drawing gravity and that they was trapping him. You said
you talking about the same LeBron that you talking about the same LeBron. You talking about the same LeBron that scored 0 points.
Hold on. Because when Kawhi Leonard could not buy a bucket and Fred VanVleet was carrying his ass, you the same dude that set up here when LeBron James in 2011 was folding down them stretches in the fourth quarter. You was the one that was cooking LeBron James. You didn't give him no excuses saying, "Oh, he was drawing gravity and getting other guys to get off," and that's why D Wade was balling. You crushed LeBron James. In fact, hold on. You've never given LeBron James any excuse for injuries. You've never said, "Hey, we can't criticize LeBron because he could not help that he got hurt in such situation." What you did was you challenged whether or not he was really hurt. You called him a fraud, and then you still cooked him for losing.
He is a fraud. Now, like what I'm gonna say is this, Ticket. I don't want to get into the LeBron debate because I can.
But Leonard isn't a fraud.
Leonard isn't a fraud. Ticket. Hold on.
Right now, Ticket. That's what I'm hearing right now. James is a fraud, but Leonard isn't. A dude that's a part-time worker is not a fraud.
Ticket, you know what
you do, bro. Hey,
every
day isn't.
Hey, Ticket, you know what you doing, bro. You know what you're doing, Ticket. I don't want to. I could go.
Hold on.
Hey, Ticket. Hold on, Ticket. You sit there and say Jimmy Butler carried guys to the NBA Finals when you got Bam Adebayo, you got Jordan Dragic, you had Tyler Hero who averaged more points, who had Bam who averaged more points, more rebounds, more steals, more blocks. But you sit there and say, "Oh, that was a carry job by Jimmy Butler." Jimmy Butler led that team.
No, I said he led him to the NBA Finals, right? I didn't say he carried him. I said he led him.
Hold on. When we sit here and say this year, right? People sit there and say Jimmy Butler led and carried the Miami Heat to the finals. We had Caleb Martin who played better. We had Gabe Vincent who played better. We had Bam Adebayo, he played better. So when we're looking at your logic, bro, we know
was that because Jimmy was drawing? Was that because Jimmy was drawing gravity, drawing double teams, and other guys was able to get off?
No, it was because everybody was playing better than him. They were scoring better than him. They was bailing his ass
hold on. But so when it was for Kawhi, it wasn't because Fred VanVleet and those guys was playing better.
Well, I don't know why we comparing Jimmy to Kawhi because Kawhi.
I'm saying people were saying Fred VanVleet. My whole point with you is, dog, is that, listen, I got love for you. I already know what's up with you. But that shit personal with you and LeBron is so personal that you will put your nose You will put your nose deep in the booty of Kawhi Leonard and ignore
Man, stop playing with me like that.
everything
You
that
put your
Kawhi
nose
Leonard
deep
does.
in Jimmy Butler ass crack, nigga. Stop playing with me,
You ignore everything. You ignore everything Kawhi do to praise him. Anything that goes
Stop
wrong,
playing
you
with me,
want to
boy.
absolve him from any type of blame, and that's sickening, bro.
Yeah,
Fellas,
man.
hold on, right quick.
Play that shit,
Hold on.
nigga.
Can you
I
imagine?
don't play that shit, boy.
Can you imagine if we had another superstar, right? Can you imagine if we had another superstar who was a part-time superstar, quote unquote, part-time? How would we be talking about him? So if if LeBron James played 55 games, not this season, 10 years ago, and his team won the NBA championship because he had a great playoff run, even though he didn't play great in the regular season, he only gave you 55 games, right? So now let's take Steph Curry, for example. Let's say he's in and out of the lineup and he plays 60 games. Let's say he plays 60 games and he plays great in the playoffs. Are we talking about him like that too? Are we doing that?
Yes,
no, we're not doing that.
Because
but
what it
about
matters,
James,
what it matters the most, Chill.
You're the same dude, Mookie. You're the same dude who will say to me, that Giannis had a quote unquote hospital ring, which you'll roast him having a quote unquote hospital ring, but then you'll tell us that Kawhi Leonard had a historical postseason run. You're telling that he had a historical postseason run in 2019, but Giannis, who had 50 and 17, almost 50 and 20 in Game 7, which was also historic, it was a hospital run. You talk about inconsistent logic, yours is just as inconsistent.
Hold on, Chill. Let me check some of the points you made, and I love your boldness. I love how you just energize. You know what I'm saying?
Mookie, this is the last rebuttal, and we're moving off of Kawhi.
But this is why when people sit there and crucify other people for having injuries that actually help them to win a playoff series, then I apply their logic to their favorite players. And the reason why I sit there and say Giannis had a hospital ring is because if you're a Giannis fan and you get on Kawhi Leonard and you get on Steph Curry, you get on multiple of these players for winning hospital rings and stuff like that, right? Then we must apply this shit to Giannis. Giannis won a hospital ring. Giannis Antetokounmpo played an injured Nets team as well that was missing Kyrie Irving, which his own teammates said if Kyrie Irving played, they would have beat him as well, right? And then when he got injured in Game 4 and Game 5 and Game 6, you had Chris Middleton, you had Brook Lopez, who took them guys to the NBA Finals. So when we looking at that, that's strictly more of a hospital ring. Now, when you sit there and say that Kawhi just playing 55 games and that's not a great regular season, first of all, them 56 games is a top 10 regular season, is a top 10 MVP candidate regular season who's averaging 26 on very, very efficient true shooting splits, bro. So when we talk about that, what matters the most? It matters in the postseason. So if I'm playing like 56 games and the doctors are load managing me, and then in the postseason I'm giving a historical run, something that not very few players are able to do, and to win a championship, and to be up there in the record books with the likes of Kareem, Jordan, many other all-time great players, then that's what we must praise, Chilltown.
All right, fellas. A new rule has been put in place from, up above. For the rest of the show, the words Kawhi or Leonard, or a combination of the words Kawhi and Leonard, cannot be said. Otherwise, you will receive a technical foul. Anybody want to?
I like it.
Anybody want to test the rules?
Are we done with Leonard? We done talking about Kawhi Leonard?
For the entirety of this show? Yes.
I hope so.
It's a wrap. It's a wrap.
Wait, Ron, can I ask you a question?
What's up?
Can you name me the guys that you think? Because I've seen a lot of uproar about it, saying, "Oh, it's just 4 number ones." Can you name me the guys in the NBA right now that you think are number ones?
That I think are number ones. So we can go with the 4 that you said, and then let me think. So I would say that Luka's a number 1. Because my thing is, I don't think you don't have to win a championship to be a number 1. I would say at least the Eastern Conference Finals, and you have to have the potential to lead your team to an Eastern Conference Finals. So I'm gonna go with Luka.
Hey, Ron, that's not what he was saying, talking earlier though. So I get what you're saying, that you're not saying you have to win a championship, but Damo's saying that these are the only 4 guys that are number 1s that can win a championship. So I think we're trying to get who's on that list.
Well, no. I know my criteria for number 1 is definitely unconventional, and it's not something I think is objective for everybody. So I want to know what in your opinion of what a number one is, who do you think is number ones? Not using my criteria, using yours.
I gave you my criteria.
My bad.
I gave you my criteria, so now I'm gonna give you my number ones. I'm gonna go Joel, Luka, obviously Steph, Bron, Dame, Giannis. I'm gonna say a guy like Shea, what he was able to do with a superior team, how he was able to lead his team to even just to play in. I gotta go Trey Young, gotta go Ja Morant because they've made deep playoff runs. Jimmy Butler, obviously. And then after that, it kind of low key want to say De'Aaron and Kyrie, but those two are kind of up in the air. So I would say those guys, and then Jason Tatum as well. And after that, Donovan Mitchell too, just because what he's done with the Utah Jazz for the last few years. After that, I would say the list is over.
See, but now, that's why real quick, Damo, because
go ahead.
Okay, this is my problem with it. That's the only reason I stopped you earlier, Ron, is because now we're having you just open up the whole conversation. It's like, what are we talking about? A number one, what? Like, see, to me, I've already said that every team in the NBA has a number one. Because when I say number one, I'm talking about who is your number one option, who's your go-to guy, who's your number one scoring option. Every team in the NBA has a number one scoring option. So that's what I talk about. Oh, this is my one on the team. This is my two. But then Damo made it clear that he was talking about who's good enough to be a number one guy on the team to win a championship. That's what there's only 4. So everybody's gonna have different criteria if we open it up like that. And that's the only reason I was asking, like, what are we talking about here? Because if you every team got a number one, obviously not all these cats is going to carry their team to the championship or nothing. So that's just why the conversation gets confusing to me. And that's the only reason I stopped it, because I'm trying to make sure we all on the same page.
No, I feel you. And the only reason why I wanted to open up the conversation to his definition of what he feels number one is, or anybody else, is because, again, I said 4. I said it's 4, and I seen a lot of pushback. Oh, just 4? That's crazy. Okay, so Ron said 16. He said 16. It felt like it really was. It was probably like 10 or 11. But he said like 16 names. Now Chad is saying, oh, wait, this Kyrie, I was about to say the forbidden word, my fault. Kyrie, Dame. Okay, so if 4 isn't enough and 10, 11, 12 is too many, my question to the audience is, where's the gap? So is it like 8 number ones in the NBA? Like, what is the threshold for what it is?
My thing with a lot of these guys too is you're not always, you could be a number one and be on a non-competent roster. We've seen that throughout NBA history. So with the guys that I mentioned are all guys that I believe if you put a competent unit around them, and somebody said this earlier, they got the potential to go to the championship. Maybe not win, but got the potential to go to the championship.
Ron, what is y'all defining? Ron, what did you define the number one as though? Like, because Dookie, he say you ask him,
put some respect on my name.
He'll say Kawhi. He'll say
respect on my name.
Dookie will say Kawhi.
Bitch. Fuck, nigga.
Yo, all right, y'all chill. Yo, you gotta
fucking respect on my fucking.
Yo, Ice Mookie too. We'll keep both of them in the ice box for a second. Yo, Ticket, you wild. But I would just say once again, my criteria of a number one is a dude that I believe, and this is for me, it's a number one scoring option. You got to be, and if defense comes with it, and if playmaking comes with it as well, that's just a bonus additive to it. But my thing is to be able to carry the offensive load in whatever capacity it is. And so with the guys that I named, I believe that those are the guys that you can put the ball in their hand and they can make your offense go if you're on a team that's not that good. But if you do happen to put a good number 2 next to him, or a couple number 2s, or a number 2 and 2 number 3s, or you put a good defensive unit around him, they're going to make a run, or you're going to expect them to make a run.
So let me ask, if you put in, hypothetically, you put Jimmy Butler and Dame on the same team, Jimmy Butler and Dame win a championship, Dame he leads the team in scoring, but Jimmy is doing everything else. So it's like I'm not going to say directly a LeBron Kyrie type of ordeal where like your point guard is seen as the guy that's really going to score all the buckets, but you got Jimmy being a playmaker. He's leading the team with defense. He's the second leading scorer, stuff like that. You would still consider Dame the number one because he's the number one scoring option?
So sometimes some things get, so obviously, so when LeBron went to Cleveland, automatically Kyrie got demoted to number 2. If if Giannis goes to the Blazers, automatically Dame gets demoted to number 2. So that just happens in certain situations. So it can be a 1A, 1B type of thing, because the thing with Dame and Jimmy is it's going to be some nights where Jimmy does everything and where Jimmy outplays Dame. So in that night, that's when we're going to come on the show the next day and be like, no, Jimmy's the real number 1. Dame is a fraud and this, and this. Not necessarily. It can be a 1A, 1B, just how we see in Boston sometimes, where Jaylen Brown will have the better night than Jason Tatum, and then we'll come up here and argue that, oh, Jaylen's better than Jason and yada, yada, yada. No, I think it can be a case of 2 number 1s, or kind of how you just said, Damo, it could be 2 number 2s. But when you have 2 guys at around that same realm that can outplay each other any given night, I think we look into it too deep and say, oh, well, this guy's a number 1 and this guy's a number 2. I think it can just be a case of you have 2 leaders on the team.
Fair.
All right, fellas. Let's go ahead and dive into these super chats. Hey, Steve, you could go ahead and unice them. So right from the top, Derek Washington with the super chat. He said, "Miss yesterday's show, but I'm just showing love every day. Y'all do your thing and put on a master class for a casual fan like myself. Praying for a full recovery for Bronny."
Oh, hold on, what happened to Bronny?
He had a heart attack in practice.
Yeah, had a heart attack in practice.
He ain't dead. He's not dead, Mookie. He's in stable condition. He's in the hospital, and he's getting better. So he's good.
Damn.
He didn't die.
No, that's not good, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
No, it ain't. No, it is not.
Especially how young he is, bro. That's not good, bro.
Bino with the super chat said, Mookie is the only one player's choice who legit lies to further his basketball agenda. In one open gym episode, he lied about the bubble, and when he got exposed, he continued to lie and got cooked.
I didn't lie. I just misspoke about my facts. I corrected myself later, but I didn't lie. So, and I don't remember what episode it was, but yeah. Go on.
Y'all gonna put me and Mook on ice. Mook, my guy. Y'all crazy as hell. Mook, we do this all the time. Y'all gonna do this. Y'all crazy as hell, man.
Yeah.
Mook no Mook no Kawhi on that BS though. He know in his heart.
Doe with the super chat says soccer player Christian Eriksen had that in a game and D13'd on the field, but made a recovery and back playing in the Premier League. Prayers to James fam.
Yeah, that's crazy. I did not know that. That's crazy, man. Damn.
Mm-hmm.
Dead Op Smoker said prayers up to Bronny. And by the way, y'all, JB just got maxed.
Hey, Ron, did y'all
What's up?
What did you touch on? Hey, I just want to ask y'all, what y'all thought about Austin Rivers putting Doc Rivers' son putting Dame and them dudes on blast? Salute to him for it.
You told the truth. You told the truth.
Salute for it. Hey, we need more people telling the truth. Chill. I don't know why you did like that.
What he say, Ticket? Ticket, what did he
put
say?
him on blast. He was like, what they doing is unprofessional. He said, what they doing is unprofessional and bad for the league. He said, James Harden and them dudes started this trend. And now you got Dame Doll and them dudes doing this with multiple years on their contract. If you're not going to honor your contract and respect your contract, then what are we doing? Why are we signing contracts?
He was more so calling out James. He was calling out James Harden and Ben Simmons because they actually did it. With Dame, I don't know. I mean, and listen, I'm not.
No, he said Dame too. No, he said Dame's name.
No. He said Dame's name, but he said, didn't he say along the line, if this is true and if Dame is doing this, then right? Like he wasn't just saying Dame's doing it.
No. He said Dame is my good friend. He said, but I'm disappointed in Dame because you don't demand a trade like that and tell him send me to one team. He said it right here on tape. He said, you don't do that and demand one team. That's when Stephen A. Smith came and told him to shut the hell up last night. No, he don't have to shut up. He plays in the NBA, and he's right. A lot of other people get affected by that stuff. I don't like the fact that James Harden is getting ready to, because once you open Pandora's box, now look what happened. It went from being one team with James Harden. Harden's getting ready to try and force himself to 3 teams he wanted to go to, bro, in 5 years. That's insane.
But Ticket, wasn't Austin Rivers' point the fact it wasn't more so Dame wanting out of Portland. It was more so if you want out of Portland and you have a contract, wherever you go, you're obligated to play there. You can't just say, okay, I'm gonna sign this deal with this team, and then if I get traded somewhere else that I don't like, nah, I'm not playing. I'm gonna sit. I'm going, whatever the case is, I'm not gonna play, even though you signed the contract. That's what I thought Austin Rivers' point was. That's why I said he was scrutinizing James Harden and Ben Simmons because they actually did that. They were documented doing that. Which Dame, we still don't like. Isn't it still being reported by his agent per sources that he's like having this diva persona on? If he doesn't go to the Heat, he's not.
But we haven't heard anything from him.
From Dame, that's what I'm saying. That's why I was like, he's saying if it's true with Dame, then boom. But he was really going on James Harden and Ben Simmons verbatim.
No. He said no. Well, that's wrong. We can get Ron to pull up the audio. It's easy to pull it up. He called out Dame, and then he used James Harden as an excuse. But my whole point is this, bro. He was right, bro. You got to count, and that's the one thing I never take away from that dude, LeBron. As much as I don't like him, bro, at least he did play till his contract was up, and then this is what LeBron was smart enough. LeBron was such ahead of the curve. He made his contracts to benefit him. He made contracts to where I'm not taking a full 5-year max. I'm taking a 3. I'm taking a 3-year with 2-year out. I'm doing because I know I'm gonna be so great that I can just re-up. So now he not locked into that long-term deal like those guys. Once you sign that deal with the devil, that's your ass, man. That's your ass. You got to deal with the consequences.
Yeah.
Can't be mad. Can't be mad about everything else done when you sign the contract, bro.
Yeah, James Harden. Just,
go ahead, Pirate.
Yeah, I'm sick of it, man. I'm sick of it demanding a trade. Like you sign a contract, fulfill your contract. You want to leave in a couple of years, sign a 2-year contract. Like, I'm just sick of it. You sign a $50 million contract and then you want to get traded the next year. Like, this is not.
I mean, we're talking about
it's not fair. It's absolutely no respect to the fan base.
I mean, I ain't gonna lie.
There's absolutely no respect to the fan base, the people who are paying the money for the contract. It's just childish, really. I'm completely over it.
Yeah.
The problem for me.
Can't hear
Go ahead, Alex. Go ahead, Alex.
Your mic went out because you was talking that bullshit. That's why your mic went out.
The problem for me is like is the fact how people are reacting because it's Austin Rivers. People saying, "Oh, he's not good enough to talk." It's just one of those things where what they call it, like an elitist mindset. Like, because what he brought up is the gap. And I asked somebody like a little bit ago, I was talking about it. I think it's crazy that like being on the team and it's this guy getting $50 million, and then this guy over here who's playing 10 to 18 minutes a night. It's not like he just not playing. Now he getting $3 million, $5 million. Like the gap is spreading. It's crazy. So Austin Rivers, he brought up a lot of good points, and I'm happy that he said it. But I'm just disappointed that people are going, just trying to act like he doesn't have the right to speak about it because he's not a superstar or whatever. That's what's crazy about it. He feels the repercussions of all these divas. You know what I'm saying? Everybody gets the backlash. He talked about since they did this, now we have to sign this bullshit CBA, which is basically what he said in so many words. The CBA is bullshit, and so we had to sign this because y'all want to be prima donnas, and so it affects him directly. If anybody has the right to speak on it, it's a role player like him. He talking about mid-level guys taking veteran minimums and whatnot. It's like. And I don't. Once again, I haven't read the CBA word for word. I don't know what's all in there that's making that happen, but he does. You know what I'm saying? So he's talking about feeling it.
So Ticket, when I said I said because he was talking about James Harden, and James Harden is the one who started this. I didn't hear the whole thing, so I can't comment on the whole thing. But he was talking about James Harden. Now, the issue that not only he's having. I'm having it too with Damian Lillard. It's not the fact that he wants out. I have no problem with that. The problem that I'm having is that everything he stood on, he's now going against that. That's always been my issue with him. Everything that he stood on. He's now becoming everything that he hates. Everything. Right. When he was adamant about not doing this stuff, only to turn around and do it. Ticket, I'm not going to hang out with these people. Ticket, I'm not doing it, only to find out next week that you see me in the hood with these dudes.
And here's the problem. Here's the problem, Chill Town, to go just one step. Bro, at least the other guys, all this time, we may say whatever we want to say about LeBron and all these dudes. bro, they putting pressure on the organization every single year to do moves and make moves. Dame never was doing that out loud. He was never. Then you come at the last minute trying to flex your muscle and trying to act tough. Man, they don't see you for 11 years, bro. So once you let them get in that comfort zone, you know what I'm saying, of 11 years, and it's just like a lady. Once you start letting her do whatever she want to do and treating you however she want to treat you, now when you get 4-5 years in deep, ain't no 50 changing and turning it back. No, you right where what you got. Because instead of nip that in the bud early and laying the boundaries, this is what you did. So for me, Dame was cool the whole time. He was saying he was cool, he was comfortable, they treated him right, all this stuff. So they thinking, okay, we treating him right, we cool. You know what I'm saying? He didn't have that energy. Hey man, we need to be making moves right now. I ain't signing this extension. If we ain't making moves right now, I'm not signing, I'm leaving. Period. He wasn't doing that. You can't just come to him in 1 week and say, trade me to the Miami Heat or else. Hell no. If I was a team, I'd tell him, hell no either. Kiss my ass. Period. Both cheeks. You know what I'm saying?
My whole thing with the ordeal is I don't have a problem with guys wanting out their contracts, guys want to get traded after signing big contracts. Absolutely fine with me. I don't feel like you're like if you want out of your contract, fine. You're not obligated to your money at that point. If you want to break your contract, you're not gonna get your fully guaranteed money. That is my whole thing. That's what I wish would happen. You can break this contract. You can leave if you truly want to leave after spending the season, after playing here, after signing. But I'm not about to pay you out the rest of this $286 million. I'm not about to sit here and cripple my team because you want to go to a specific location, and if you can't go there, because I have to sacrifice my star asset for the last 10 years to get Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson, and I'm not going to do it. But because you don't want to play nowhere else, now I'm shackled to pay you $50 million a year and you not play basketball. Nah, I'm gonna treat you like football. Cut them. I'm gonna pay you 10% of your contract. You go where you want to go, bro. I'm gonna keep my money though. The money's staying with me. That's what I wish would happen, if anything.
Fellas, we gotta move on. That was a good discussion, but we got some super chats we got to get into, and today we are going to get down to who's the top 15 3-point shooters in the NBA. So we will do that next, right after I read a couple of these super chats. Eli the Misfit said, "Facts ticket. It's an NBA doctor who's theorized that. Theorized that.
Theorized what?
Him talking about the kids and stuff at an early age, training hard and doing all the stuff outside of basketball, lifting weights and supplements, all that. That's basically what I'm saying. Agreeing with.
Right.
Moving on, Devin with the super chat. Appreciate your boy. He said OKC will be a higher seed than Phoenix. Lock it in now.
That's a hot take.
Yeah, that's a hot. I'm gonna if you're gonna pen, I'll bet him. Like a band.
That's a hot take right there. I think you wow for that one, but all right.
TXNYD with the super chat says Celtics fleeced the Cavs for Kyrie, but it didn't work out. Also, that Celtics team was one of the most talented rosters I've ever watched.
I think because of how the Celtics team in it, you can't call it a fleece, in my opinion.
We got a couple super chats pertaining to, when I had mentioned some wild takes. Deezus said, talking about the Celtics offensive weapons, quote unquote, so Robert Williams isn't a lob threat, question mark. Commercial break, Mookie.
Why you say my name? Like, well, he said I said Robert Williams isn't a lob threat. I don't know what you mean by that.
I think you said that at some point, Mookie.
That he isn't a lob threat? That's what I said? I didn't say that.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I never said that. I mean,
clearly he remembers it.
The PC chat hates. Well, I'm the most hated on PC, so they're gonna allow my name sit there say that I say something that I say. So it is what it is. They hate me on this show and then Gridiron, so I'm the most hated. So they're gonna talk, man. I like it.
Embrace it, Mookie. Somebody got to be the villain. Hey, Mookie, we the villains together. You the.
yeah. For sure.
You whatever you may be, and you know who I am. So
Ron, you damn sure ain't no villain. So let's kill that logic right now. You definitely not a villain.
I'm just trying to pacify. I'm just trying to pacify Mookie. Chill.
Okay.
G King said tickets saying Jamal Murray is a top 10 player. Lonnie Williams chimed in with another bad take. He said, Ox saying Steph isn't a generational player.
Yeah.
With the
Wild.
Jason the Kid, also with the super chat pertaining to somebody up here who you guys may not know who said this, but I think we'll get down to the bottom of it. He said that weirdo on the panel said Clay is over AI. Anybody up here say this?
I never say no such foolish thing.
Yeah, that was me.
You
That
said
was me.
that?
I mean, on the panel, I don't know if we have enough time to go into the criteria
We'll start tomorrow's show with that. We'll get to that tomorrow.
Okay,
I definitely want to hear your logic
that's
behind that.
Yeah.
And last but not least, before we go ahead and get into this top 15 list, and chat, you guys can go ahead and start spamming the order of how you would like the list to go. Y'all know what to do. We doing a list. Everybody gets a pick. Y'all give me an order. But Devin came with another super chat and said, "Chill, old ass will hear, quote unquote, Planet Rock, then get the pop lock in." Whoa.
I don't know what the hell that means, but I never knew how to pop lock. I never knew how to do that. I was never good at that.
TMF Willie said, "Chill." TMF Willie said, Chilltown, I still see Evan Mobley as a KG level player, minus the dog, but as a talent, I see if I think he can be better than Chris Bosh. Am I biased?
No, because that's on the lines of what I think he could be. And defensively, I think he could be KG good. I do. I think he could be as good as Kevin Garnett defensively. Offensively, I actually think he could be better than Chris Bosh because I feel like he could stretch the defense a little bit more. And a better transition player. I think he could be better than him. Evan Mobley is a franchise player.
No doubt. All right, fellas, let's go ahead and get into it. I'm trying to find a good order. Let me see. How we gonna rock? The next one is dropped in. That's the next one I'm gonna choose. So go ahead and drop another order. Whoever puts it in next, we'll go ahead and do that. Yo, you can go ahead and throw that graphic on the screen, Steve, and we're gonna get to it. Damo just dropped out, so Damo won't count in the order.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we got Ox, Pirate, Mookie, Chill, Ticket. That's how we gonna rock.
Hey, real quick before you go, in the chat, the dude Honcho. Every time Ron come up here, he puts our names on the screen and he puts his @ on his Instagram. You could hit him on his app. I mean, you could hit him on his @ and Instagram, and he'll actually he'll drop the link for you and bring you up here. So any issues and any discrepancies you got with me, come bring it, my man. Don't hide behind the computer. Don't hide behind the screen. Whatever issues you got, come bring it up here. How about that?
Hey, Huncho, you heard him. All right, let's go ahead and get to it. Once again, we got Pirate first, Mookie, Chill, Ticket.
Nah, I was first.
Oh, no. Oh, that was you first?
Trying to take your spot, big guy?
Oh, my bad.
Why he always do that?
My bad, bro. My bad.
All right, bro.
What? You gonna put me in a headlock PC weekend?
Hey, PC weekend coming up, bro. Like, yeah,
hey, bro, look. Guys, keep the beef with Ticket. All right.
Why you trying to
PC weekend to be short and eventful for you.
Hey, it's the reason Ticket ain't coming. But anyway,
right, I'll put your high beams out.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Look, yo, you want to go ahead and throw that list up? All right, Ox, you are first.
I mean, it's kind of unfair that I got to go first because now I don't even get to think about it. You know what I'm saying? It's like Steph Curry.
Who was the one talking about you go first? We talking about nice unfair.
but you know, I mean, because I was chosen to go first, so I won my position. You know what I'm saying? If I'm chosen to go first, I'm going first.
I want my spot, but I don't want to go yet.
Well, you got it.
Yeah, well, hey, be careful what you ask for, right? Be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, but yeah, I mean, now that I think on it, it's just kind of like a no-brainer. You know what I'm saying? You Steph Curry. So.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next, we got Pirate.
All right, so now the game actually starts. So yeah, I mean, you got to decide what aspects of 3-point shooting you're going to value. I suppose I'm thinking about like how much to value off the dribble, how much to value just pure shooting. Who would hit the most if it was open shots, 100 open shots in a row? I'm leaning towards just saying Clay. I mean, I think out of all the players who are in the league right now and in their prime, close to their prime, I'm gonna say Clay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go with Clay.
All right, there you have it. Klay Thompson is next. So at 1, we got Steph Curry. At 2, we got Klay Thompson. And next, it's on you, Mookie. Who's the third best 3-point shooter in the NBA?
Ooh. Hey. Yo, this show is hard, yo.
What the hell?
Damn, man. Oh, man. I love efficiency when it comes to 3-point shooting. I love how much you make it in an efficient way. Put Luke Kennard in there, man. Put Luke Kennard, highest 3-point shooting percentage in the regular season as well. Didn't really translate in the postseason, but the fact that he came to the Memphis Grizzlies and I believe he shot 47-48% from the 3-point line. That actually provided some spacing, some 3-point shooting. Yeah, I put Luke Kennard, bro. He's been leading the NBA for the last couple of
games, though. Luke, he don't play enough games, right?
Luke Kennard?
Yeah, he always hurt. How can we get a good sample size on him if he always hurt?
He's not always hurt. I mean, he played good enough sample size in last year and this year. So, yeah, put Luke Kennard.
Fellas, how we feeling about the list so far? And I mean, I guess how do you guys feel about Klay number 2 and Luke Kennard number 3?
I think Klay is a little bit overrated.
I don't like the list.
I think you're going off of I think Klay, we going off of what he used to be. I mean, is Klay still that today?
No. I don't agree with that. Hold on, I don't agree with that. I do agree Klay can still shoot the hell out of the ball. I mean, he still was right at 40%. I think it's another guy. I think it's another guy that should be up there that y'all probably ain't even gonna say on the whole list, and I think it's gonna be a disgrace.
Well, we'll see.
Hold on, chill. I gotta combat that though, because Klay was really shooting the ball this last year. He made he
led the league in threes. He shot the hell out of the ball.
Yeah, I mean he still shot it at a high clip. He still made 3.8 per game, and then on top of that, oh no, that was in the playoffs. In the regular season, he made 4 per game. And then 4.4 per game to be exact. And then he still shot over 40%. He still shot it at the 41% clip. He was second in the leagues in makes per game. So I mean, obviously right behind.
He still can shoot. He's still shooting the pill. I mean, I ain't saying that I'm not saying that. I'm just thinking about the Klay who was the marksman. I mean, his over the last couple of years, in the postseason, his numbers go the other way.
Yeah.
In
a postseason, he still made 3.8 at a 38% clip.
Yeah, right. But that's a little bit different than in the regular season, where I mean that's a little bit different in the playoffs. If you think about a lot of the games that they've had, have been in terms of them losing was because Klay didn't shoot the ball as well as he did 2 months ago. He didn't shoot the ball as well as he did a month ago. So that's not to say that Klay isn't still a marksman. What I'm thinking about is he still the same dude that he was 3 years ago? And is that what we're going off of? When it comes to
he was more chill. This is what it was. No. He goes to high highs and low lows now. And they keep
so it's either this or this. That's where we at with Klay. He's on fire or he whack.
In the past, he was steady. And then he'll get boiling hot at one point in time. He'd never be in some big slump. Now he'll go through these huge slumps, and then he'll crack it with like huge games and dig himself out of these holes with huge games. But you'll remember when he goes to the huge slumps like he just went through in the playoffs, right? But the way his career is going now, like you just saw him in the playoffs, you like, dang, he's not the same Clay. And then 2 weeks later, he'll be on fire, and he'll be on fire for a week or so, couple weeks, and you'll be like, damn, okay. But then he'll go back down again. It wasn't the same. In the past, it was consistent. It was a consistent 40 to 42% 3-point shooter all the time. You could rely on that on a night basis.
All right, chill. It's
yes
on
and
you.
no. Like I'm a Warrior. I'm a Warriors fan. I've seen him play probably over 500 games, and I feel like he was fairly level the first couple of years. But I mean, I'd have to look at the numbers, but I'm pretty sure for the bulk of his career, he's streaky. He goes hot and cold, and if he goes cold in the playoffs, that sucks. But he's streaky.
Right.
It's a make or miss league.
It is. It is. And like Ticket, like you just said, he'll have a game where, he'll go 1 for 8. And then he'll have another game where he'll go like 2 for 7. But then he'll have a game where he'll go 8 for 12 or 10 for 13. And then you see that. Like, well,
but in the past,
he
if
still
you
got
look
it.
at that, that's why I disagree with the brother who just said that. In the past, his lows wouldn't be as low as they is now. Like when he didn't have the
you're
off
probably
game,
right.
it was every now and then he had an off game. But now it's more so where you seeing these dips, and then as soon as you start to count them out, boom, here comes Clay. He just goes on fire and does something crazy, like drop 45 and hit like 8-3, 9-3, something crazy.
Yeah, but I mean, I know at least for like 2 or 3 of his years, he'll come out. He came out ice cold for like a few years. He'd start the season real cold, and then all of a sudden he goes on a like month-long tear where he'll go from shooting 30% for the season, then he shoots like 50% for a month, and at the end of the year, if you look at his stat, like he's pretty consistent for if you count all 82 games, he's going to end up around 41-42%. I mean, just year in, year out. That's Clay. Right.
Ron, who's the next? Who's next?
It's on you, chill.
Damian Lillard.
I got somebody better than Dame Lillard. Chill, I'm
listening.
I'm gonna destroy you.
All right, we got Dame Lillard at number 4. Ticket, it's on you.
This dude should be over at least 2 of those guys. Karl Anthony Towns.
Yeah,
Hey, move. Don't.
You heard what I said.
He might be soft Dr.
You heard what I said. Hey, Ron, that's Ron. Didn't I tell you I was gonna get him? You heard what I said, Ron.
He might
you heard what I said.
He might be soft.
So he a better. Hold on. So Karl Anthony Towns a better shooter than Michael Porter Jr.
Nigga, he's shooting 40 from the 3.
Yeah. Yes.
He's damn shooting 40 from the 3 every single year. What are you talking about?
Oh, no, I don't know.
Hold on, Ticket. Can you imagine?
Michael Porter shot 41 last year too, though.
Even if Michael Porter shot 41,
Michael Porter Jr. shot 41% from the 3.
Can you imagine Michael Porter? Can you imagine the looks that Cat is getting running with Joker?
Come on, bro.
From the long ball line?
What did Michael Porter Jr. shoot for his career from the 3?
First career. Hold on.
I mean, it's good.
It's good, bro.
Michael Porter Jr.
You're gonna lose that one ticket. You're gonna lose.
We're gonna see.
It's about equal, honestly.
For his career,
it's almost identical.
His first year, he shot.
No. Total for his career, what is his percentage?
Hold up, right quick.
It's almost identical. Those two guys, they're almost identical.
I got it. Hold on. I got it right here. Hold on. Cause see, I'm about to cook y'all on this. I know he ain't gonna twist up his face.
It's like 30. It's like 39% for both.
No, first career he shoots 41%. Damn near 41.7. So damn near 42
on the long ball line.
Yeah.
Right. So what about Cat?
Cat, hold on,
bro. Michael Porter Jr. Shoots better on catch and shoot threes. Like, what are we talking about, bro? Even on contested shots, that's when it's getting contested. He shoots damn near 38% when his threes are contested, bro. He's a better shooter.
And what is Cat doing at that size? Dragging big men away from the basket, cracking the long ball.
Cat shoots 39.5 for his career. Last year he shot 36.6 though.
Right.
He shot 39.
And he missed 55 games, by the way.
And Ron, can you tell me what's the volume? Can you tell me what's the volume on those shots?
Because
Oh,
I
he
think
putting them up.
Michael Porter Jr. shoots more threes than Cat, bro.
He does. So Cat
That's all he
over his
does.
career, over his career. So I'll give you over his career, he makes 1.6 and he attempts 4.2. Last year, Cat shot 5.7 and attempted 2.1. Michael Porter Jr., as opposed to him, Michael Porter Jr., he shoots 5.5 over his career, makes 2.3. Last year, he made 3 and shot 7.3.
So it's more. Hold on. So your Cook ticket, he shoots a higher volume and he's
1 year.
more efficient or just as
That was
efficient
1 year.
as
Hold on, that was 1 year.
Towns, who shoots
That was
lower
1 year.
volume.
Hold
He's a better
on.
three-point shooter, bro.
That was 1 year, bro. Did you hear for the career they shoot damn near the same? They both shoot around 5.
They shoot.
No, he shot 5 last year. Over
shot
Cat's
5 last
career,
Cat shoots around like
over
4.5.
Cat's career,
right?
he shoots 4.2 and he makes 1.6. Over Michael Porter Jr.'s career, he shoots he makes 2.3, shoots 5.5.
So he shoots way more.
Hey,
higher
Ron,
volume.
put the list y'all had up. I still got Cat up there, but put that list. So you got Dame, and Cat shoots better than Dame. He shoots
No,
better
he
than
does
Dame.
not.
He has a bigger body of work as far as games played than Luke Kennard.
Wow, this is crazy.
The only two guys on that list I can legitimately pull over him right now is Steph and Clay.
So you would have Cat 3 ticket.
That damn nigga, he
You
shoot better
think
than
Cat is a better three-point shooter than
y'all.
Luka?
Hold on. Y'all looking at Dame, but Dame is look at Dame's percentage. He shoots like 37% for his career. Come on, man.
And
Yo,
Cat
Ox,
shoot
it's back
39
on you.
ticket. That's basically the same thing. But go ahead, Big Ox.
You muted.
I mean, it's
Okay, yeah, okay, it's back on me.
Cat is not no top five.
Just to make
three-point
sure that trying to be consistent. Y'all know how I feel about this guy, but I'm gonna go ahead and just say Buddy Hield.
Here he goes.
yeah.
All right. Next is back on you, Pirate. You got Buddy Hield at 6. Who
Yeah,
do you
I mean,
have at 7?
Yeah, Ox just stole my guy. So
You can have him. I got another one, probably. If you want him, you can have him.
no, I mean, I got some more, but so he didn't steal him. I think he put him in the right place. Good job. After that, I would think I'm honestly thinking either
Michael.
Kyrie. Either Kyrie for wait. Well, now hold on. Did Michael Porter Jr. get set?
No.
He didn't get set.
No.
Then I'm going to go Michael Porter. I'm going to go Michael Porter Jr. I also think in the grand scheme of things that just because we know that physiologically taller players, tend to not have the ability to shoot at quite the clip as shorter players. I think him being a taller player, being able to shoot at that clip, I give a little bit more weight to the big men who can shoot like Cat or Michael Porter Jr. So I'll say that.
Yeah.
Cool. Mookie, who?
I'm glad Pirate chose this guy because I was gonna choose my guy, man. Kawhi Leonard. I think Kawhi Leonard is a level 3-point shooter. Kawhi Leonard was
he's iced, right?
Kawhi Leonard this year. Kawhi Leonard this year.
Oh, remember you can't mention. Oh, damn, Mookie. Well, we still got your pick. We just not gonna be able to get your explanation. Damn, Mookie. You wonder why the whistle came on. Steve Javy jumped in like, man, get him out of here.
Somebody reffing.
Yeah, nah, for sure. But Kawhi did, for what it's worth, I know it was only a couple games. He shot 60 in the playoffs last year, and he shot 42 during the regular season. But
it's a good name.
Let's continue to keep it pushing. Chilltown, it's on you.
Damn, I did like Cat. Ray Hill, Jordan Poole.
Yeah, poor Mookie.
That's a good one. Who are we talking about here? One of the better long ball shooters in today's game. After you guys took all the other ones, I'll say Jason Tatum.
Put the list up there, Rock.
We got JT at 9.
Y'all some haters for real.
Why is that? Let's come in a second. Ticket.
Yo. Why y'all hating on my Kawhi pick, bro? Like,
Yo, Mookie.
Man shot 42% from the 3-point line.
Put the list up there.
Yo, Jay.
That man put Kawhi. Man, come on, bro. This is hellified cat, man.
A ticket. He shot 42% from the 3-point line in the regular season, right?
How many games?
He's shooting what 40? Hold on, he's shooting close to 44% and catch and shoot three.
But he ain't no all-world 3-point shooter. He's doing that.
Yes,
in
he is.
Games,
he's an efficient.
He's doing it in limited games.
Shooter.
Who are we talking about?
And he's shooting it for over high volume.
He's doing it in limited games.
Hold on. Ron, look this up, Ron. How many threes he's taking a game? How many threes he's taking a game?
Who?
Kawhi's taking like
good night.
Hey, Tom Bowman, you know what I'm saying? I got it.
Damn, we did that. It's tickets next. Yo, ticket. Text me who you got after Jason Tatum.
That's crazy.
Ticket out. Take ticket out the ice box.
Yeah. We got an uniced ticket. We got an uniced ticket, and we can put the list back up there. Ticket. Who you got next?
Who you got next? Get ticket off ice.
I got
Do the right thing. Do the right thing.
I already know where Big Ox going, and we not doing that, Ox. We not. I know what you're talking about.
He should have been there to number 5.
He ain't Fox.
No,
It's either gonna be Fox or Sabonis.
Nah, chill. I'm not biased, but I'm being serious.
Nah.
I don't be messing up this.
But it's somebody else. It's 2 people on your squad that you could. 3 people low key that I. No.
2, and one of them should have been said to
I gotta go. Warder, the kid from the Hawks.
Kevin Huerter.
Excuse me, Warder, the kid from
He in Sacramento.
From Sacramento, yeah.
Good job, Ticket. I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
I was tired of people hating. But even better,
he should be over that. He should be over Kawhi.
No,
I say he probably should have been number 5.
Oh yeah, okay. If you say I ain't gonna argue. I mean, I just efficiency 42%.
I just think you gotta have a bigger body of work, man. That's all I'm saying.
Can you look at his career? His career is 40% in the playoffs, and then 39% in the regular.
Back when you were 11.
That's right.
Yeah.
So since Ticket did the right thing, I'm proud of you, Ticket. Thank you so much. Now I'm able to do the correct thing. And
what's the correct thing, Ox?
At number 11. That's number 11, right?
Mm-hmm.
Keegan Murray.
I knew he was going to say Keegan Murray.
What?
Are you tripping, Keegan Murray? What is? I mean, if I got to explain this, I wasn't watching.
I think Keegan Murray. I think he was in the top 15 in the league in makes with the long ball.
And he made the most threes from any rookie in NBA history this year.
Yeah, like top 20, something like that.
This isn't a controversial pick at all.
Yeah, but Ox though, the league is not full of rookies. This is the NCAA.
But look at. So I don't know the exact number, but I guarantee he has at least top 15, top 20 makes amongst the whole NBA.
I'm sure
you don't want Harrison Barnes.
I'm sure he in the top 20. I don't know for a fact. I don't know what number he is, Big Ox, but I'm sure he in the top 20.
Yeah, easy top 20. I would like to say top 15, but that's my pick either way.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
He was getting it done. I don't believe that's a controversial pick at all.
All right, Pirate, it's on you next.
All right, I think it's pretty easy that I'll have to go with Kyrie at this point. I got a couple of the younger names.
Is somebody that you guys are missing that's just glaring? Like I can't believe
what team he played for, Ron?
What?
What team he played for? I know he's something. Yeah.
I'm not gonna. I'll mention it when it gets mentioned. Who'd you say again, Pirate?
I got to go with Kyrie. I mean, I got a couple of younger names that look like they will be really good 3-point shooters, but don't have quite enough years under their belt to. So I'm going to go with Kyrie. He's got a long enough track record and good enough efficiency. So I'm going Kyrie.
All right, Kyrie it is. Next we have you, Chill. Or no, Mookie, my bad. Mookie, it's on you.
Mookie up.
I'm gonna go with Paul George. Bogey for from the Atlanta Hawks, bro.
Good name.
Mm-hmm. All right, I can get with that. KD.
You got KD, Chill?
Yes.
All right.
Quick side note:
I'm
on NBA TV. I'm watching the '86 Dallas Mavericks versus the Lakers. Mark Aguirre was not better than Adrian Dantley. I'm sick of hearing him say that. No, he wasn't.
No way.
He was not better than Adrian. He was not better than Adrian Dantley. No, he wasn't. He wasn't.
Adrian Dantley, one of the most disrespected players in history. This guy averaged over 30 for 7 straight years.
But go ahead. I'm sorry. Unreal. Mark Aguirre was not better than Adrian Dantley. No, he wasn't.
All right, so this is
Adrian Dantley, 30 points for 7 straight years on like 56%.
Yeah, that's crazy. This is the list as currently constructed. Ticket, you have the last pick.
I think
for the best 3-point shooters in the NBA.
Oh, he's still here. All right, he's still here.
Ticket TV.
I think Ticket gone.
Ticket.
We had him. All
right. Chat, I'm gonna leave it up to you. The first person to chime in with who should make the last pick, go ahead and tell me. First name that pops up in the chat. Who up here do you guys want to make the last pick? No, not the name, like the panelists. Okay. Hey, somebody said it's on you, Ron. So I'm gonna do the right thing.
What you got, Ron?
Desmond Bane.
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
Good job, Ron.
Right. I don't understand how Desmond Bane was not on the list. I thought Desmond Bane was going to be top 10, around like the higher, around like the 8-9 mark. I don't think Jason Tatum shoots better than Desmond Bane. I'll leave the other dude for the Clippers out of this because I don't want to get iced. Kevin Huerter, I think he shoots better than Kevin Huerter.
The other dude.
Keegan Murray shouldn't be over him. Now Kyrie. We can talk about Kyrie just because his difficulty in making shots. He got 50, 40, 90 season, so I'll give him a pass on that. Bogey, I do love Bogey, but I think Desmond shoots at a higher clip. I think he shoots more. KD, I'll leave KD out of this because it's KD. And after that, Desmond Bane should just be higher than a lot of these guys.
I don't like that over Kevin Huerter though.
Number two shoots. I think he should be up there. Desmond Bane should be up there too, but we going off efficiency, high percentage, makes, volume. You should be mad at my pick of picking number 2.
I'm gonna give you guys some other names and let me know how you guys feel about these guys as 3-point shooters. And I'm gonna give you some names that you might not think of. So the first guy I'm gonna go to. Now he only shot 37, but he made the 4th most threes behind Dame, Clay, and Steph. You got LaMelo Ball. How do we feel about him as a 3-point shooter?
He take a lot of bad shots. I'm good on LaMelo Ball. No, I'm straight on LaMelo Ball.
Would anybody else put him in the upper echelon of 3-point shooters? By upper echelon, I'm saying like top 20, top 25. Do you think he would have made it or do you think he could have been top 15, or do you think he would have made it coming soon?
I wouldn't put him top 15. No,
he on that same
maybe top 20.
They're young. Like they both take a lot of bad
25.
shots. And they shoot a lot of high volume, so I'm good on LaMelo. Just like I'm good.
Next, I'm gonna go with Donovan Mitchell. Made 3.6 a game and shot 38%.
He was actually my next pick. That's who I was gonna go with. The next one was gonna be Donovan Mitchell.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Next, let's see. Next, we got Lauri Markkanen. He shot 39%, made 3 a game.
I think he got to be a little bit more consistent, Ron, because, like we just seen him in his Utah offense. Like before then, he was never considered a long ball shooter, even when he was in when he was in Cleveland, when he was in Chicago. He was never really considered that. So, I mean, off this 1 year in that Utah offense where they featured him a little bit more, like we got to, I got to see a little bit more consistency from him before I'm able to put him in the upper echelon of 3-point shooters.
Next, we got Desmond Bane made the list, and this is just for comparisons. Desmond Bane made the list. He made 2.9 threes a game. He shot 40%. Kevin Huerter made 2.7 threes a game. He shot 40%. Michael Porter Jr. made 3 threes a game. He shot 41%. Well, it's another guy named Tyrese Halliburton out in Indiana who shot 40% and made 2.9. Would you guys consider him to be in this realm of 3-point shooters?
I think he's top 15. Yeah, like if I could have just made my own list 1 through 15, he would have been.
Who do you put in and who do you take out?
Can you pull up the list again?
Let's see here.
I can't see it. How do I see it?
So you got Curry, Thompson, Kennard, Lillard, Cat, Buddy Hield, MPJ, Leonard, Tatum, Herter, Murray, Irv, Bogdanovich, KD, and Bane. Who comes off the list for Halliburton?
I would say Murray. I would say Tatum, probably. I would maybe Bogdanovich.
You don't sound too sure about that one.
Yeah, well, no, because I think Bogdanovich is probably a better just pure shooter. But then that's the whole thing, man. Because like the 3-pointer has become such an integral part of the game now that I feel like we have to analyze it deeper than before. You know, like what exactly are you weighing? Is it more valuable? Think of it this way. Like I like your pick of Kevin Durant, right? But like, do we say is a Kevin Durant 3-pointer actually more valuable than like a Buddy Hield 3-pointer because Kevin Durant has more abilities to score, and so his 3-pointer can set up other ways for Kevin Durant to score. Where someone who is an extremely good shooter, they hit the 3 at a higher clip than Kevin Durant, but they're not able to set themselves up to score in different ways by hitting that 3.
But with that being said, when you got a guy who this is my job, and not only is this my job, and everybody knows this is my job, and this is what I do, and I do it at a high level. I think that's just as lethal as a guy who can set himself up with the long ball or set himself up with the mid-range to shoot the long ball. When I got a guy like Buddy Hield who they're drawing it up for me to shoot on the long ball line. They're drawing it up for Luke Kennard to shoot on the long ball line, and he's shooting it at a high rate. Like the first person that comes to mind is I think about Kyle Korver. I think about Kyle Korver when he came into the game, which I never understood that from Ty Lue, where they were running pick and pop. I'm thinking to myself, this dude is a long ball shooter. Run something for him. Get him involved in the game. And once you do that, and everybody knows that you do that, I think that's just as lethal as a guy being able to get his own shot off the dribble because you already know what I'm in here for and I'm doing it.
Absolutely, but it's also a little bit more dependent on your teammates, your game plan, right? So it's a little bit more dependent on external factors, whereas Kevin Durant's 3-pointer is a more internal skill that he's able to manifest into productivity for the team.
It is.
And then you look at the macro arc of how, because I feel like right now we're in this transitional era where now the 3 has become, because just think about like right now in this year, we can rattle off, I don't know how many, but probably at least 15 to 20, probably more like 20 to 25 guys who are shooting 6, 7, 8 threes and making them at a 40% clip, right?
Grant Williams shoots 5 a game.
If you go back to 1980, if you had a guy on your team who was shooting 8 threes a game and making them at 40%, that's a game changer. I mean, that one factor alone could elevate a poor team to a mediocre team or a mediocre team to a contender, right? Because it's more unique. It's something that you have that other teams don't have. Right. Nowadays, how valuable really is a guy who shoots 8 threes and makes them at 40%? because it's a common thing.
Well, it is common, but it depends on who he's playing for. Number one, it depends on who he's playing for, and it depends on how consistent he is. Now, if we're talking about a guy in Grant Williams that's shooting 5 threes a game, well, that matters because he's on that when he was on that Boston Celtic team, which is a championship unit, as opposed to a guy like, let's say, Buddy Hield, for example, who Indiana isn't that good. So a lot of that stuff might be empty. And he's getting the looks that he's getting because a lot of teams aren't really taking them seriously, as opposed to the Boston Celtics, where we got to deal with Jason Tatum. We got to deal with Jaylen Brown. And the looks that I'm getting, the quality looks that I'm getting, I probably wouldn't get this, and it wouldn't mean as much if I played in New Orleans or if I played in Washington. It wouldn't be the same.
And just today, it's not special. It's just part of an average game plan and an average roster. Like you go back and look at like Dennis Scott, like that's special, right?
Right.
Like, so, I mean, it's almost like if you reverse the situation, right? Like in the 60s or today, if you had a guy giving you 15 to 20 rebounds, that's a game changer. Like you've got something really special that you can utilize that other teams aren't able to utilize.
Well, you do have that. Rudy averages almost 13 boards a game.
But that makes him kind of special. If you go back to the 60s and 70s, you better have a big that's giving you 15 to 20 rebounds.
Right. It's more utilized.
Right? Like any contender like would have to have that. So now it's kind of reversed into the 3-pointer. So I think what we judge is a quote unquote good shooter we have to adjust it to this era, and it unfortunately that's kind of hard to do in the moment. You kind of have to let 3 or 4 years pass and see exactly what's happened, and that's kind of really what has separated Steph, because even in this era where we're like breeding guys who can shoot 8, 9 3-pointers a game and make them at 40% because of the game plan and the spacing. Steph is still able to elevate. He's able to elevate even to the next level. He's able to give you 12 to 13 a game. He's able to hit it at 43, 45%.
So is your stance the fact that it's becoming more common? It's become now less valuable?
Less valuable, yes. Yes, absolutely.
I think that's where the game is, though. I mean, in fact, because the game is where it is today, where guys are shooting the long ball more, if you're not as efficient as, it's not Steph Curry or Damian Lillard, but if you aren't, there aren't as many guys as there are shooting the long ball. There aren't guys who are efficient, like you just mentioned. If you got a guy shooting 8 threes and he's shooting, he's cracking 3 of them. He's shooting 8 threes and he's ended up cracking 3 of them. Well, if he's doing it on a unit where they're not winning, it's not really translating to anything. That diminishes the value, as opposed to a dude that's doing the same thing where he's cracking 5, 6 threes and he's doing it on a playoff team. That doesn't diminish the value. In fact, it increases it, because I'm like, we need that, and we need to get better talent around this in order to enhance our game, because it can't just be a guy just shooting the long ball. Because if a guy is just shooting the long ball and it's not really materializing to anything, then what difference does it make? It's like you just mentioned, we talk about rebounding. If I got a guy that's pulling down 13 rebounds a game, but we at the bottom of the league, well, that doesn't diminish this guy rebounding at a high clip. I'm looking at my unit going, well, wait a minute, I got to get some guys around him so this can mean some more.
Fellas, I gotta interject. Like I'm digging you guys' convo and your dialogue right now. No. We're just on the time crunch right now, and I do want to read these last few super chats. I want to do my due diligence. Mm-hmm. So Gideon said, "Keep up the good work, OG." Nigga was talking about both of y'all.
I want to get with Gideon. I gotta get with him soon too. It's my man.
It's just Jose, said Ron. Don't let them get off track. It's for this year.
What does that mean?
The 3-point shooters.
The 3-point shooters. It's just for this season. The top 15 3-point shooters just for this season. That's what he was talking about. When I was talking to you about Clay, and are we going off Clay from what he did in the past? Are we talking about Clay today?
I didn't hear that caveat. We were supposed to just judge them off of last season.
Yes.
I thought we were just going to be naming like who were the best 3-point shooters in the game playing today.
Yeah, well, I mean, you only as good as your last season, so I mean, we were kind of predicating off that. That's why Ox was able to use Keegan Murray, for instance. He was only, you know, he could only go off last season. But on to the next super chat. SPWZN said, just chiming in. Mars has explicitly stated that Russell isn't his GOAT, and he's using accolade merchant logic to troll and prove his point.
That was my understanding. Yeah, that's. I think I've heard him explain that before.
Kales NY said Rivers refused to play for Phoenix when traded there in 2018 and said he wasn't playing for a team on the come up. He a hypocrite too.
Yeah.
All right, fellas. Well, at this point, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Pirate, appreciate you for coming through. Chill.
Absolutely.
You the man.
We'll see.